And welcome back to the 2022 Nebraska American Legion Class B Junior State Tournament at Sam Crawford Field right here in Wahoo, Nebraska. We have teamed up between Eastern Nebraska Sports Network and Saunders County Online to bring coverage all weekend and all week long. And we are heading into the 12th game? And it's going to be a big game between Wayne and Sutton, both teams trying to move on and move forward into the championship round. So with me, I have Mike and Joe Klein. I'm Kelly Johnson, and let's get things rolling. So how are you guys doing today? Have you rested from last night's exciting game?
Yeah, what a finish last night. Lincoln Christian sending Sutton here into a elimination semifinal, this semifinal matchup between Sutton and Wayne. And this semifinal, unlike our second semifinal, this semifinal, Kelly and Joe, is win or go home for both of these teams now. And the winner is at least have the opportunity, can't have a guaranteed chance, but an opportunity to play in a state championship game tomorrow night.
Well, this is what you kind of dream about after you win a district. You come to state tournament. Obviously, you're not in an ideal situation, but now it's do or die. It's win or go home. Both teams are going to have to play at 100% and as good as they can get. Obviously, Wayne yesterday having a little bit of an exclamation point on the day, pulling off an upset over what you'd argue, a favorited Wahoo team. And now they've got something to prove. Can they keep the train going and get all the way to the state title game and give yourself a chance to win a state tournament, obviously kind of as an underdog coming in. And Sutton now, you have to rebound from last night's tough loss. I mean, you look back at what you could have done better in that game, and we're going to see Steve Spongeburg's squad, if they did look back at what they could have done better, and see if they do it better today.
Yes, obviously no easy task for Wayne going up against head coach Steve Spongeburg and the Sutton Mustangs. And this is a Sutton team that's really had quite the season to start off their tenure in Class B, a district champion, defeating a very tough Central City squad to get to the state tournament, and then really winning two games in rather convincing fashion, a 7-2 win over Plattsmouth in the second round of the winner's bracket after a close 5-3 win over Alliance in the opening round. And then we had what could argue to be the game of the century in Junior Legion Baseball in the state of Nebraska last night, a 13-12 game that Lincoln Christian beat Sutton in walk-off fashion, a game that saw Sutton lead 12-7 going to the top of the seventh inning, and then a very controversial zero posted by Lincoln Christian's defense gave them some life, and they were able to capitalize on it and come back and defeat the Mustangs 13-12.
Well, like I said last night, tough loss for Sutton. It's going to be about responding today, and now you come back out obviously a little frustrated with yourselves, and that can be dangerous for both squads. Obviously, if you're too frustrated as Sutton, it can kind of blind you and you're not able to accomplish the task at hand. But also building up a little frustration, you can really let that out on a team, let that out on a field, and carry a lot of momentum with you to a state title game.
It will be a good one between Sutton and Wayne. We'll come back to Crawford Field, give you the starting lineups, as well as take you around the field. That comes next in association with Saunders County Online. This is the Eastern Nebraska Sports Network.
On May 1st, 1960, noted Wahoo attorneys Harlan A. Bryant, George W. Hessler, and Robert E. Sullivan formed the law firm of Bryant, Hessler, and Sullivan. The founding members sought to provide their clients in the eastern Nebraska area with the highest quality legal advice and legal services. Currently, the firm is known as Hessler, Sullivan, and Klein. Throughout the years, the name of the firm has changed slightly, but the mission of the law firm continues to remain the same. First, Hessler, Sullivan & Klein provides their clients with the best legal advice and legal services available. Second, the attorneys treat every client with the courtesy, honesty, and respect that each client deserves. They are committed to helping you throughout life's journeys, from adoptions to estate planning and legal issues in between. They are here to help. Give them a call at 443-4181 or visit them on the web at wahooattorneys.com. The information obtained in this advertisement is not intended to be legal advice. You should consult an attorney regarding individual legal advice for your situation.
Medicine Man
On May
Pharmacy.
1st, 1960, notable.
Medicine Man Pharmacy of Wahoo supports our broadcast of the American Legion Class B Junior State Championships. At Medicine Man Pharmacy, we aspire to be the pharmacy provider confidently chosen by our clients for their families' everyday health needs because of our expertise, integrity, and honestly, consistently exceeding their expectations. Reliability, bright spot, value, integrity, community building, and so much more can be found at Medicine Man Pharmacy of Wahoo.
Brett Eady with Nebraska Realty in Wahoo sponsors this broadcast of the American Legion Junior Class B State Tournament. Brett Eady and Nebraska Realty is here to help with expertise and personal service for both sellers and buyers. With experience working through what's happening in the marketplace, financing, terms and conditions, help with getting pre-approved, writing contracts, home inspections, and all things to help you get home. Thank you, Brett Eady, for being a part of our coverage on Eastern Nebraska Sports Network and Saunders County Online.
Titles Lounge and Sports Bar is a sponsor of our coverage of the 2022 Nebraska American Legion Class B Junior State Championship on Eastern Nebraska Sports Network and Saunders County Online. Titles will be open after 11 a.m. with a cool place to watch the tournament. Order pizza or bring your own food and enjoy the in-house beverages while watching the game in the lounge, game room, or check out the beer garden. And after the tournament, remember Titles Lounge and Sports Bar for watching all local sports events with friends and family right here in downtown Wahoo. Welcome back to the 2022 Nebraska American Legion Class B Junior State Tournament. Sam Crawford Field right here on Eastern Nebraska Sports Network in cooperation with Saunders County Online YouTube channel. Thank you, everybody who's at work or at least pretending to work the rest of your day. How can you pretend or actually work when you have a great game coming up? We have Wayne versus Sutton today. And I was looking at the conditions. You know, every day the weather has been a little different. Started off with cloudy, then cooler. You know, Saturday cloudy, humid. Sunday just a little cooler and no wind. Yesterday it was warm but not too warm. Nice breeze coming out of the south. And today it's just hot. There is a wind, but it's I don't think it's going to affect us very well in here, and I think everybody's kind of learned. We were talking about how many tents have popped up around us.
Well, it looks like wind a little bit out of the west-northwest, just a little bit, and obviously not a whole lot of cool air moving through that wind today. And Crawford today might play a little smaller than what it really is. A decently stiff wind blowing out to left field could potentially help your hitters, but obviously the humidity and heat still a factor, so we're going to see today whether or not dry air and a little wind help the ball carry out of here.
Yeps, indeed. We take a look at your Midtown and West BP starting lineups. First for the visiting Mustangs, they lead off with Eli Nethig in center field. Miles Ferguson will bat second at third. Miles Jones gets the start at shortstop, followed by Weston Ort at catcher. Thomas Bondi gets the start on the mound. Declan Peterson bats sixth at right field. Carson Mao bats seventh at second base. Aiden Jones gets the start at left, bats eighth. Peyton Reed bats ninth at first base. Sutton under longtime head coach Steve Spongberg. And for the Wayne Blue Devils, they will lead off with Gavin Redden at shortstop, followed by Ryan Karski at second base. Devin Anderson bats third. In center field, Aiden Liston gets the start at third. He bats fourth. Caleb Moormeyer bats fifth. He is the catcher today for Wayne. Caden Keller bats in left field and bats sixth. Zach McManigal bats seventh in right field. Jace Deed bats eighth in first base, and Wyatt Hikas bats ninth. And on the mound, Wayne is under head coach Robbie Gamble. As we said, wind out to left today, 309 to left, 310 to right, 335 to center field, and about 325 to the power alley. So a good matchup here today, Joe, for this semifinal matchup.
Well, today's going to be all about whether or not your pitcher can live low in the zone, live on the corner, and throw strikes. Obviously, we saw Bondi struggle just a little bit last night, but to an extent, so is life. We saw everybody struggle last night in that Lincoln Christian-Sutton matchup, and we've even seen Wayne struggle pitching. They had a great effort from Aiden Liston the other night, but far from a perfect start against Wahoo. I mean, gave up 5, and realistically, you feel that if your offense doesn't have the day that they do, you might not be playing here today. So you'd want to see a little bit of improvement from that Wayne squad pitching. It's going to be about who can live on the corners, who can induce soft contact, and who can convert that to outs. That'll be today's winner.
It'll be a good one here. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll bring you the first pitch out of the other side in association with Saunders County Online. This is the Eastern Nebraska Sports Network.
On May 1st, 1960, noted Wahoo attorneys Harlan A. Bryant, George W. Hessler, and Robert E. Sullivan formed the law firm of Bryant, Hessler, and Sullivan. The founding members sought to provide their clients in the eastern Nebraska area with the highest quality legal advice and legal services. Currently, the firm is known as Hessler, Sullivan, and Klein. Throughout the years, the name of the firm has changed slightly, but the mission of the law firm continues to remain the same. First, Hessler, Sullivan, and Klein provides their clients with the best legal advice and legal services available. Second, the attorneys treat every client with the courtesy, honesty, and respect that each client deserves. They are committed to helping you throughout life's journeys, from adoptions to estate planning and legal issues in between. They are here to help. Give them a call at 443-4181 or visit them on the web at wahooattorneys.com. The information obtained in this advertisement is not intended to be legal advice. You should consult an attorney regarding individual legal advice for your situation.
Titles Lounge and Sports Bar is a sponsor of our coverage of the 2022 Nebraska American Legion Class B Junior State Championship on Eastern Nebraska Sports Network and Saunders County Online. Titles will be open after 11 a.m. with a cool place to watch the tournament. Order pizza or bring your own food and enjoy the in-house beverages while watching the game in the lounge, game room, or check out the beer garden. And after the tournament, remember Titles Lounge and Sports Bar for watching all local sports events with friends and family right here in downtown Wahoo. Brett Eady with Nebraska Realty in Wahoo sponsors this broadcast of the American Legion Junior Class B State Tournament. Brett Eady and Nebraska Realty is here to help with expertise and personal service for both sellers and buyers. With experience working through what's happening in the marketplace, financing, terms and conditions, help with getting pre-approved, writing contracts, home inspections, and all things to help you get home. Thank you, Brett Eady, for being a part of our coverage on Eastern Nebraska Sports Network and Saunders County Online. Medicine Man Pharmacy of Wahoo supports our broadcast of the American Legion Class B Junior State Championships. At Medicine Man Pharmacy, we aspire to be the pharmacy provider confidently chosen by our clients for their family's everyday health needs because of our expertise, integrity, and honestly, consistently exceeding their expectations. Reliability, bright spot, value, integrity, community building, and so much more can be found at Medicine Man Pharmacy of Wahoo. Titles Lounge and Sports Bar is a sponsor of our coverage of the 2022 Nebraska American Legion Class B Junior State Championship on Eastern Nebraska Sports Network and Saunders County Online. Titles will be open after 11 a.m. with a cool place to watch the tournament. Order pizza or bring your own food and enjoy the in-house beverages while watching the game in the lounge, game room, or check out the beer garden. And after the tournament, remember Titles Lounge and Sports Bar for watching all local sports events with friends and family right here in downtown Wahoo.
Singing of the national anthem today. Singing the anthem today will be Leighton Ware, the choir teacher at Wahoo High School.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets ignited, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was
Welcome back to Sam Crawford Field in downtown Wahoo, Nebraska for the 2022 Nebraska American Legion Class B Junior State Tournament. We've just wrapped up the Star Spangled Banner and ready to play some ball as we have Sutton versus Wayne. A big game for both of them as one gets to continue on, the other goes home.
Well, this is like what we said. It's do or die right here. Both teams with a berth in the state title game on the line, and obviously, if you lose, you don't get that chance anymore. You're packing your bags and you're heading back home, and nobody wants to take that long drive, and nobody's got a short drive back home. So hoping both teams play 100% and one gets a berth to tomorrow, or yeah, that is tomorrow's state title game.
Yes, indeed, Joe. Hopefully so. As we take a look at the Blue Devils defensively, they will have Caleb Moormeyer behind the plate, Jace Dean at first, Ryan Karski at second, Aiden Liston at third, and Gavin Redden at shortstop. Cade Keller in left, Devin Anderson in center, and in right field is Zach McManigal. As we take a look at right-handed pitcher Wyatt Hikus. Joe, what do you look for in Hikus?
Well, Hikus might be one of the best of what Wayne's got remaining. They did a pretty good job saving their pitching toward the end of this tournament. Not quite as burned out as perhaps you see some other teams, but obviously you get put in a tough spot right here if you're Robbie Gamble, the head coach, because you have to play your best out there. Can't afford to lose this game. There is no more breathing room. Your back's against the wall. So this is the best of what Robbie Gamble's got left remaining. His guys kind of tired at the end of a very long season, and most of these guys are going to have to go play senior districts next week. So it's going to be an interesting one today here for Wayne, using whatever they've got left in the tank and then going forward from there.
So we speak of best available. Kevin Marr, our crew chief, who's in charge of creating these umpire assignments, no doubt giving the best possible strike zone available. Our home plate umpire, Joe, is Robbie Thielen. Joe, what's the scouting report on Thielen for the strike zone today?
Thielen overall very consistent. Not a huge fan of the inside corner. He gives outer half to within 2-3 ball widths even. You see a very open outer corner, but a very small inner corner. In fact, he might take away that first ball width off the corner. So it's going to be interesting to see how both Hikus and Bondi adjust to this zone.
A strike called to make the count 1-1 to Eli Nething. Also, Jimmy Motes at first, Eric McMurray at second, and the crew chief himself, Kevin Marr, at third for today's semifinal game as the pitch misses high. 2 balls and a strike, the count to the Sutton top of the lineup.
And I've had several run-ins with Mr. Thielen behind home plate here, and his zone's been relatively the same every time, and you see it right there. That's going to be called a strike all day today. He likes about a ball width beneath those kneecaps or a ball width below the top of that kneecap, and then he'll give within 2 to 3 ball widths off the outside corner. It's a very wide zone, but it shifts out more than it does just truly be wide.
There's a swing and a miss, and Nething is retired for the first out of today's game. And Miles Ferguson will hit next for head coach Steve Spongeberg. Ferguson starting at third today. The pitch from Hikus. And on the appeal, they'll appeal to Kevin Marr, no swing.
Kind of an interesting one. You don't see that at high school baseball very often, obviously with a 4-man crew today. Don't see very many appeals down to third on a check swing.
Ground ball to Liston, score at 5-3, and that's out number 2.
I'll notice kind of an energy saver, Wayne not going around the horn after the putouts, just trying to save arms, save throwing distances, and save a little energy. And conserving your energy is going to be huge today. Obviously, not a great game time for either team. 4 p.m., you're in the dead of the July heat, about as hot as it's going to get the rest of the year today from now on. So it'll be interesting to see how both teams kind of cope with that.
Yeah, not sure if today's the hottest day of the year as the pitch misses outside ball one. 92 degrees currently here at Crawford Field. They did take a couple degrees off that projected high of 97, now just 93. The projected high should be coming fairly soon as it's a 1-1 count to Miles Jones, the Sutton shortstop. But arguably the hottest day coming up this Saturday with a high of 100 projected as that pitch misses inside. 2 balls and a strike.
And I guarantee you, whatever you're feeling in the stands, or even if you just step outside for a moment at home or at the workplace, how it feels about on that concrete and that blacktop's about what it feels like on field. And clearly we see there Jones having a bit of difficulty adjusting to the zone, but that is the zone of Kevin Thielen.
Yep. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. The pitch home is low for ball 3. Thielen and Jimmy Motes, the first base umpire, with quite similar setups on the strike zone. Just in terms of overall size, as the 3-2 is low for ball 4, and we have a 2-out base runner in the form of Jones, and that takes us to the catcher, Weston Ort.
Well, and like we mentioned, when you step out in the heat like it is today, on the field feels about like it would be if you sat on the blacktop, both in a parking lot or out in the middle of your street at home, and sat there for about an hour. It's going to be really hot on field, probably on-field temperatures feeling closer to about 100 degrees.
First pitch from Hikas from the stretch is well high of the mark, and it's 1-0.
And this will be an interesting adjustment. Obviously, Hikas now having to go from the stretch. We'll see how both pitching staffs adapt to runners on.
Grounder to third. That is a fair ball, says Kevin Marr. And it's first and second with 2 outs.
A tough play there for Liston, right over the bag, and I believe a good call by Kevin Marr. It did look like it hooked the bag in fair territory.
Pitcher Thomas Bondi now to hit. He has a chance to give Sutton an early lead.
See if Bondi can help himself out here. Base poke could score 1. We'll see what Steve Spongeberg dials up with first and second.
First pitch is taken right down the middle, and it's 0-1.
Well, we talked about it. Perhaps Bondi laying off there might be over the outer half, but we said that that'll be a common call by Mr. Thielen behind home plate.
Oh, 1 pitch home. Sharply hit too short. The throw to second is errant. And Sutton's going to make him pay for that one, and the Mustangs strike first.
Well, we've talked about what's been a common and recurring theme of this tournament. Errors have become costly. That one directly translating to a run short out at second base. Just need a simple little flip there or a little dart throw, collect that last out of the inning, and now you find yourself in deep with 1 in the same situation.
And that's the right fielder, Declan Peterson, now. As the Mustangs have a early 1-0 lead. Good spot there. But Robbie Thielen ruling wide of the mark. 1 ball and no strikes.
And kind of an interesting change in the zone. Ordinarily, Robbie Thielen very favorable on that outside half.
That is low, and it's 2-0.
And now where you want to be, find yourself in the heart of this Sutton order and down 2-0 and another RBI opportunity. Got to find a way to put the Band-Aid on here if you're Wyatt Hikas.
Hikas' 2-0 pitch. Sharply hit into right field. That is a base hit. Steve Spongeberg not rolling the dice. It is a long single and probably the right move there.
It's an excellent throw in from right field. A little difficulty with the transfer. And obviously Coach Gamble very upset. You'd like to see Jace Dean do whatever he can to get his body in front of that ball and cut that off before it gets to home plate. But an excellent job also behind the plate to knock that ball down, not allow it to get past you. And there also, if you're Wyatt Hikas, you'd like to see him on that contact, bust his butt, get back behind home plate, and back up a bag.
Yep, Caleb Moormeyer with an excellent block to keep it in front of him, as it's the first baseman, Carson Maui, takes high, ball 1. Bases loaded, 2 down, already 1 in for Sutton, just starting this one. First of 2 semifinals, loser goes home in this one. Turn over to second, and a throw well wide of the mark there.
And I know nothing went wrong with that play. In fact, kind of an interesting time to call that. But almost I'd question why the call there. I mean, you've got 2 outs, you're out here, you're focusing on home plate, especially with Hikas out of the full windup. Interesting time for a pickoff, but I'd almost rather see Hikas forget about that guy and focus here at home plate, and now you find yourself down 2-0.
The 2-0 pitch. He's taken the whole way, and it's 2-1.
And kind of an interesting approach. Obviously 2-0, you'd like to see him hunt. Maybe not exactly where he wants it, but I believe Mao here just simply taking till he get one.
Yeah, Hikas has struggled to find the zone here with 2 outs, the 2-1. That's going to be third base side and foul.
Kind of an ugly 2-1 swing there, almost worked a little bit, but not able to keep that one fair. A little tardy on the fastball, a little booty knock, and squibbed one foul.
Eric McMurray and Kevin Marr communicating here before this 2-2 pitch. That's high. And it's 3-2. Bases are loaded here.
Well, and now you have to make sure you see that pitcher. You have to see Hikas move that, what would be his left foot, before you can take off. Now everybody go. You put your runners in motion.
Hit on the ground to short. The throw to first is in time, and Sutton leaves the bases loaded. But they get one. We go to the bottom of the first. Sutton 1. Wayne coming to bat in association with Saunders County Online. This is the Eastern Nebraska Sports Network.
Titles Lounge and Sports Bar is a sponsor of our coverage of the 2022 Nebraska American Legion Class B Junior State Championship on Eastern Nebraska Sports Network and Saunders County Online. Titles will be open after 11 a.m. with a cool place to watch the tournament. Order pizza or bring your own food and enjoy the in-house beverages while watching the game in the lounge, game room, or check out the beer garden. And after the tournament, remember Titles Lounge and Sports Bar for watching all local sports events with friends and family right here in downtown Wahoo. Medicine Man Pharmacy of Wahoo supports our broadcast of the American Legion Class B Junior State Championships. At Medicine Man Pharmacy, we aspire to be the pharmacy provider confidently chosen by our clients for their family's everyday health needs because of our expertise, integrity, and honestly, consistently exceeding their expectations. Reliability, bright spot, value, integrity, community building, and so much more can be found at Medicine Man Pharmacy of Wahoo.
Welcome back to the Sam Crawford Field in downtown Wahoo. It's part of the 2022 Nebraska American Legion Class B Junior State Tournament on Saunders County Online YouTube in association with Eastern Nebraska Sports Network. Mike and Joe Klein, the brothers, giving the call of the game today. And what a game it's going to be in the heat.
Yeah, conditions are going to be tough today, and an interesting pick as Sutton going to go with black today. I think I'd have stuck with my reds, or if I had a set of whites, I might have thought about wearing those, but I'm going to go with what they got, and it's going to be an interesting day. Hopefully Bondi can work quickly here, get his guys back in the dugout, back in the shade, get some water, and get ready to hit that bat rack again and take more of what Wayne's going to give you.
We take a look around the horn here as you take a look at right-handed pitcher Thomas Bondi. Behind him, his battery will be Weston Ort. First base, Peyton Reed. Second base, Carson Mao. The third baseman, Miles Ferguson. The shortstop today is Miles Jones. Aiden Jones in left, Eli Nethig center. Declan Peterson in right field. And Joe Bondi struggling last night. We'll see if he can adjust. Two very similar strike zones from Jimmy Moats last night to Robbie Thielen today. Not a ton different in terms of what's been established as what will be called.
Well, from what we've seen and what Bondi's offered us, it looks like it could be another day a little bit struggling, perhaps overthinking. Time to simplify those mechanics from the stretch. Simply work on living low in the zone with that fastball, tunnel your curveball effectively off of it.
Bondi will look like as though he's going to go exclusively from the stretch today. His first pitch is just high.
Well, we said made an adjustment. Looked like he was struggling to command that fastball, keep it in the zone, and now a little bit of an overcorrection, missing up in the zone.
Strike called, and it's 1-1.
That's where you want to see Bondi live today with that fastball. Obviously going to be a tough day to poke one out of Sam Crawford. Heat and humidity going to keep the ball inside the ballpark. You like to see Bondi just induce some soft contact and have your defense convert that to an out.
Fouled third base side. Ahead in the count is Bondi, a ball and 2 strikes.
And a well-tunneled off-speed off that fastball. Came back to a curveball a few inches below the zone. Got a chase out of Gavin Redden. We'll see what he can go with here, 1-2. If he goes back to the well in the curveball or sets him up fastball upstairs.
That's into right field, a base hit. And the Blue Devils wasting no time as their leadoff runner aboard. Gavin Redden having himself an excellent couple of days offensively.
On top of this, Wayne lineup does a good job. The 1 and 2 guys do a good job to get on. Then obviously you get to 3 and 4, a guy like Liston who can really bruise a baseball to a gap. So good job by Redden there. Good two-strike hitting piece. Take the fastball to right field.
Steve Spongeberg adjusting his in-corner infielder in at third, suspecting a bunt, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Ooh, ducked back. Little surprised Ort did not appeal. That was mighty close.
Well, and we've seen Gamble try this strategy multiple times this tournament. Obviously in situations where it's almost unconventional, you could say, in baseball to lay down a bunt, and Robbie Gamble squaring his batter around. But it's worked a little bit to his credit that opponents have had difficulty fielding that bunt and collecting the easy out, and then you get to a more obvious bunt situation of first and second and nobody out.
Look again is Bondi. He is working slowly here from the stretch. Comes set. Liston will not square on a good spot, but it crossed too low. An excellent job of framing there by Ort, trying to see if Robbie Thielen had given him the call, but no such luck.
It should be 2-0.
Yeah, Robbie Gamble asking Robbie Thielen if 2 balls, no strikes is the correct count. That's a swing and a miss. Throw back to first. Wow, he had him leading, but the tag could not be applied in time.
It's a good 2-0 hack at home plate. You'd like to see him connect with that ball, but you'd rather see a rip through than a double play ball.
So Liston still ahead in the count. Good lead from first with Redden squaring to bunt again. Throw over to first. Runner is back safely.
Interesting to see Gamble call off the bunt 2-0, or the bunt not on 2-0, and now putting it back on 2-1.
Yeah, he is seeing if he can play a trick here on this Sutton defense. Sutton defense that's played, for the most part, quite clean, as he held up 3 balls and a strike.
This is a good pull at home plate, stay off that low fastball, and a better job by Weston Ort, keep that ball within reachable range. Obviously a dirt ball, you'd love to see an aggressive read there, but maybe a better read at first base. We've seen Ort with the arm throwing out a runner last night. In fact, that was the only, I believe, 1 of 2 or 1 of 3 that tested him.
Squaring to bunt. Well, he was daring him. Runner goes, pitch is called a strike. The throw down to second base is in time.
And we've seen that from Weston Ort the whole tournament. Absolute cannon down to second base, and you can just erase your leadoff runner there. Great toss.
Redden caught stealing and out at second for out number 1.
That was a big throw there. So 3 balls, 2 strikes now with 1 out, and a big chance here for Sutton to retire Karski. That's high for ball 4, and Ryan Karski is aboard.
It's good frame and good presentation by Ort, but we've seen that Robbie Thielen not liking that high strike today.
So that takes us to center fielder Devin Anderson.
That brings up number 6, Devin Anderson.
So we'll see if Robbie Gamble tries a similar strategy here. Now 1 out, but we've seen quite a few teams bunt the runner to second with 1 out.
I think I'd much rather see him. Obviously, it didn't pay off the first time. I'd rather see him try and take the bag on order, wait for a dirt ball, and get a very aggressive read, be able to advance for both Devin Anderson, and then you've got Aiden Liston standing on deck.
That is a dirt ball, and it's 2 balls and no strikes.
A good job by Spongeburg to encourage his pitcher, Thomas Bondi. Not where you want to be in a 3-hole hitter with this count 2-0. And here, if you're Anderson, you absolutely have to sit fastball and sit somewhere in the middle.
That one too low.
And this
3
is
balls, no strikes.
partially where Gamble's roll of the dice doesn't quite pay off. You could obviously have first and second, nobody dead here, and potentially load the bases for the best hitter in your lineup.
Yep, Aiden Liston on deck for Wayne. And that is ball 4, so now 2 aboard with 1 out.
And really a little cause for concern right there for the Sutton pitching staff. Bondi with 4, you could argue, non-competitive pitches, none of the 4 relatively close. And now you find yourself in a scary part of this Wayne lineup with Liston and Moormeyer, 2 guys that can drive in runs in different ways, but not a good part of the order to have here with 1 out and an RBI opportunity standing at second base.
So now Wayne will send the third baseman Aiden Liston. Liston chops the first pitch foul. Now on spike, the tremendous block by Ort keeps both runners where they're at.
That's good work by Ort to go down to the butterfly there, keep that ball square to his chest, drops 2 feet out in front of him.
One is right down the middle, and it's 1-2.
A little cause for concern there with Liston. You're interested in why you're taking that pitch and much less why you're complaining about the call. Look pretty square to the plate.
Liston will send this one into left field. That is down for a hit. And Wayne has tied this game at 1. On an RBI single from Aiden Liston, he will move up to second on the throw.
And Steve Spongeburg upset with his defense. A, the bobble by Aiden Jones, and then B, you got to have a third baseman on the bag right there. Or at least have somebody on the play. And what did we talk about? Aiden Liston doing a good job at home plate to drive in a guy, have an RBI opportunity, one of the better hitters in your lineup, a good 2-strike approach. Just short to it, keep the barrel through the ball, drive a ball out into left center, and now you got a deadlock game at 1-1.
Yep. Second hit for Wayne in this first inning. 2 hits apiece for both teams.
Yep, that one did get Moormeyer. And, yeah, I believe we are going to see that as the Sutton crowd chimes in about it, and Steve Spongeburg will go plead his case.
Yep. Steve Spongeburg and Robbie Thielen discussed this. I guess Thielen's going to go down to Kevin Marr here.
Well, this will bring in the whole crew. We're going to see Moats and McMurray all come in and discuss this.
Bottom of the first inning, tied at 1 between...
I wonder if we'll see any exchange between Robbie Gamble and Steve Spongeburg
I
here
doubt
as they're
it.
standing
Steve
6 feet apart.
Steve Spongeburg, definitely a well-respected head coach, as is Robbie Gamble. That's a foul ball.
So Moormeyer looks like he's going to get another chance at it.
And Spongeburg and Kevin Marr will take this argument over here. And this is not the first time we have seen Steve Spongeburg unhappy in this state tournament. Robbie Thielen slowly walking back in here. And Spongeburg will depart. And
I always note the even funnier part of this is how into it the fans get the later and later we get into this tournament. Mere first inning, we've already got fans into it.
I've noticed this Sutton crowd's relatively quiet today compared to the first 3 days of this tournament. Squared a bunt by Moormeyer, and that surrenders the go-ahead one. It is 2-1.
It's a good job by Bondi to collect an out. You're early in this game, and would you like to see him cut down that run at the plate? Sure, but a good job by Bondi to simply keep his composure and collect an out there. And now you take the bunt out of play, you make this guy a hitter, and be interested to see what Robbie Gamble's squad can call up with 2 down.
First pitch is skipped into Caden Keller, the left fielder. As Wayne taking advantage, a couple one-out hits, have a 2-1 lead here. Good block again by Ort. 2 balls and no strikes.
Doing a good job keeping his chest square to the ball today. He's done well a whole tournament. One of the better catchers we've seen behind home plate in this junior state tournament.
That's outside 3-0. You wonder if, interestingly enough, first and second base are open, so you would not think that we would see Bondi work around Keller.
Well, and you're also to the bottom of the Wayne order. They're not quite as proficient as the top of their order is.
That is low for ball 4.
Tight zone tonight behind the plate with Robbie Thielen. It's going to be a small zone in terms of height, but obviously we talked about the width. He will give those 2 ball widths off the outside corner.
Yeah, an excellent choice by Kevin Marr electing to use Robbie Thielen for this first semifinal. Strike called, and it's 0-1, and Robbie Gamble did not elect to pull off the double steal despite the fact they threw down. The runner is safe, and there's 2 in scoring position.
Well, and he's talking to his runner Liston down here at third, and he's talking about what he wants to see done better. I see you'd like to see Liston, as you see that ball go through and go over a pitcher's head, then it is time for you to break to the plate.
One is high, and it is 1-1.
Now you'll be interested to see if Bondi can tunnel the curveball off that up and in fastball. Maybe try a slider, start it through the middle, and have that break off the outer half.
Sharply hit down to third, but it is foul of that third base bag. One ball and 2 strikes. That is just a bit inside.
Oh my goodness, where on earth did that one miss?
Yeah, Robbie Thielen not liking that inside corner.
Holy cow.
Good pitch there.
Looked excellent from here, and we talked about it. Did a good job to tunnel in the curveball.
2-2. That is high, and the count is full. You can Bondi, I think, is more upset at that 1-2 call than he is with that last call from Thielen.
I think you're dead on there. Bondi a little displeased. Runner's going to be staying put. Nobody on first to make this a situation where you take off.
That is fouled left field line.
Good job by McManigal. Stay in the count there. The foul ball is just a little out in front of the off speed. We'll see if Bondi goes back to the gas or if he goes to the well again with the curve.
A full count here with first base open. The pitch. That's high for ball 4. And Bondi's still not happy about that 1-2 pitch.
Well, now it's time to take a deep breath, compose yourself, and mentally regroup. And we're going to see a visit here from Steve Spongberg.
Yep, Steve Spongberg on his way out.
McManigal reaches on the base on ball. That brings up number 3, Jace Dean.
Yep, Steve Spongberg out. We take a look down the first base line. No activity in the left field bullpen right now. And a big spot here with the Wayne bottom of the order up, but the bases loaded, 2 outs. They already have a 2-1 lead, looking to add to that. And Steve Spongberg's 30 seconds is up as Robbie Thielen makes his way to the mound. Thielen doing the major league move, going to the back of the mound to break it up.
I think it gives him a chance. It gives Spongberg those last few seconds to get his last few words in. And he goes to the back of the mound there, so that way he can look his manager in the eyes. He doesn't sneak up behind on Spongberg. Gives him a chance to see him coming and wrap it up.
And it is all up here, and really a big spot in this game for the first baseman, Jace Dean. He could give a couple insurance runs if he could get a ball into the outfield. And the wind that was out to left now kind of starting to shift out to center now.
We've seen an okay tournament from Jace Dean thus far. We'll see if he can continue his little hot streak to end the year here.
Turn over to first.
Oh,
and
they got
they
him.
Got him. A big lead there at second, and that goes for naught as the side is retired. Wayne will have to settle for the 2. We go to the second. It's Blue Devils 2, Mustangs 1 in association with Saunders County Online. This is the Eastern Nebraska Sports Network.
Brett Eady with Nebraska Realty in Wahoo sponsors this broadcast of the American Legion Junior Class B State Tournament. Brett Eady and Nebraska Realty is here to help with expertise and personal service for both sellers and buyers. With experience working through what's happening in the marketplace, financing, terms and conditions, help with getting pre-approved, writing contracts, home inspections, and all things to help you get home. Thank you, Brett Eady, for being a part of our coverage on Eastern Nebraska Sports Network and Saunders County Online. Titles Lounge and Sports Bar is a sponsor of our coverage of the 2022 Nebraska American Legion Class B Junior State Championship on Eastern Nebraska Sports Network and Saunders County Online. Titles will be open after 11 a.m. with a cool place to watch the tournament. Order pizza or bring your own food and enjoy the in-house beverages while watching the game in the lounge, game room, or check out the beer garden. And after the tournament, remember Titles Lounge and Sports Bar for watching all local sports events with friends and family right here in downtown Wahoo.
Welcome back to the 2022 American Legion, Nebraska American Legion Class B Junior State Championship, or actually tournament. The championship's coming up tomorrow night. Right now we have an elimination round between Wayne and Sutton, and Wayne is ahead at the top of the first, 2-1.
Yep. Thank you, Kelly. We move to the second of an exciting matchup here, as both pitchers struggled through the first inning, but not too much damage done, as
for Sutton in the bottom of the second, number 23, Aiden Jones.
We see Wyatt Hikus returns for a second inning of work. He starts off with strike one.
Well, 27 and 32, 27 for Hikus, 32 for Bondi in the first inning. There's a nice little base poke.
Yep, down the left field line. That is the fourth hit now for Sutton.
Jones singles to left. That brings up number 2, Peyton Reed.
A good job by the bottom of the Sutton order to find a way to get on. Obviously, Jones on right there. This will be Peyton Reed, and then you go back to the top of the order and Eli Nothing.
Yep, the first baseman, Peyton Reed here. Double play depth for the middle infielders. Liston shifted in at third, suspecting a bunt, but it's called off.
Well, now we're going to see Steve Spongeburg pull a page out of Robbie Gamble's book. Kind of an unconventional situation for a bunt, but we're going to see Reed squared around nonetheless.
See if he does it again. He does. Pulls back once more, and it's 2-0.
A good call right there by Moormeyer to make him try and bunt the curveball, but now you're down 2-0, and we'll see if Spongeburg will let Reed hit for himself or if he'll keep him squared for the top of the lineup.
Yep, top of the order and nothing awaiting on deck. That is high, and it's 3-0. That's low for ball 4. And Wayne has walked the bottom of the order, and that takes us to Eli Nothing.
Well, nothing good ever happens walking your 9-hole hitter to get back to your top, and now you'll almost certainly see Nothing square around to bring up 2 and 3 in the top of the Sutton order here.
Yep. First and second, nobody out. Let's see if Steve Spongeburg do bunt Nothing here to get 2 in scoring position.
I absolutely bunt Nothing here. It's early enough in this game, and you've got two RBIs out there. I have Nothing square.
He did square, pulls back, takes a strike down the middle.
And 2 keys on that play. We talked about Thielen's open outside corner. That one very much so within 2 to 3 ball widths off the plate and still called for a strike. And then watch how aggressively first baseman Jace Dean will charge this bunt here. You wonder if Wayne thinking about trying to cut down the sacrifice opportunity for an out at third base.
Curveball drops in there for strike 2.
Well, and now you're going to make Nothing hit for himself down 0-2. Or we'll see if Spongeburg will roll the dice and potentially have Nothing square around with 2.
I would not rule it out here, Joe. Catch this Wayne defense off guard. Although Steve Spongeburg knows the risk involved in doing so. Nope, he will let him hit, and the pitch is well low of the mark. It's a ball and 2 strikes.
A good time to go to the well right there if you're pitcher Wyatt Hikus. Good time to go to the curveball. Now time for a competitive pitch, no matter what you throw here, something close to the zone.
Not real. Must have missed inside if that was the established zone of the not being a favorable inside pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That's low, and it's 3-2.
And that's why maybe sometimes that 0-2 waste curveball, I've never been a huge fan of just a complete waste or a burn pitch, because now you find yourself down the hole needing to throw a strike, nowhere to put Nothing.
That's out of play. We'll try it again. Third base is open, but, I mean, you know, you load the bases for the 2-hole hitter in Miles Ferguson, and you're talking about getting to a very dangerous part of Sutton's order before too much longer. Full count pitch is high for ball 4, and the bases are loaded. Tying run 90 feet away for head coach Steve Spongeburg's squad.
Well, now's a good time here if you're Caleb Moormeyer to just simply go out and talk to your hitter or your pitcher Wyatt Hikus and say it's time to calm down, deliver some strikes. You're going to bring both corners in. Liston and Dean will play in. Then you'll have your middle infielders play up the middle, double play depth, see if you can get two. Going to be tough to double up Ferguson, though. Quite a bit of speed in the 2-hole.
Ferguson standing in left-handed here. We see the corner infielder shifted in. He sends the first pitch out of play.
And day and a half late on the fastball there. Good job by Hikas to come back after some non-competitive pitches to dial up a fastball, put it in the zone, and blow it by him.
From the windup, and that one misses in, 1-1. That's outside, and it's, I believe it should be 3. You have 2 and 1?
Yeah, I've got it 2-1.
All right, 2 balls and a strike. Grounder too short.
Taylor made.
Second for 1, on to first.
Got him.
A double play. The run scores, however, and we're tied at 2.
Well, that'll be no RBI on the play, and a great job by the Wayne defense. A good exchange, getting rid of it at second base. Going to roll a pair on a tough play. Good stretch by Jace Dean as well.
4-3 double play. Run scores, no RBI, as it was a double play.
And so that takes us to Miles Jones, and this is the dangerous part of Sutton's order here at the plate. With a tie ball game, go-ahead run 90 feet away. And on the first pitch, that's over the mound, a base hit, and Sutton will take. That gives Sutton a 3-2 lead.
Credit him an RBI on the play.
3 runs on 5 hits now for Sutton.
A good piece of hitting by Jones going after that first pitch fastball. Does a good job, keep it on a line. One hop through the infield, going to drive in that ever-critical run that Steve Spongeburg's squad needed.
And the first pitch called a strike, 0-1.
Well, and there's what we talked about. Robbie Thielen willing to give 2 to 3 ball widths off the outside corner, obviously, or laying off that. Not a good pitch to swing at 0-0, and in the zone for Robbie Thielen. That's just one you keep in the bank when you've got 2 strikes on you.
Swing and a miss. Throw down a second, not in time. And Robbie Thielen's going to say that Ort interfered with it, and that's going to trigger Steve Spongeburg once again. And this will be entertaining here.
Well, that's an interesting call by Robbie Thielen. I don't entirely believe that Ort fell out over the plate, but they're going to rule that it was just enough to interfere with Moormeyer. Sometimes you'll see a catcher do that, try to draw a call, and Moormeyer does so for the 3rd out.
We go to the bottom of the 2nd. It's Sutton 3, Wayne 2 in association with Saunders County Online. This is the Eastern Nebraska Sports Network.
On May 1st, 1960, noted Wahoo attorneys Harlan A. Bryant, George W. Hessler, and Robert E. Sullivan formed the law firm of Bryant, Hessler, and Sullivan. The founding members sought to provide their clients in the eastern Nebraska area with the highest quality legal advice and legal services. Currently, the firm is known as Hessler, Sullivan, and Klein. Throughout the years, the name of the firm has changed slightly, but the mission of the law firm continues to remain the same. First, Hessler, Sullivan & Klein provides their clients with the best legal advice and legal services available. Second, the attorneys treat every client with the courtesy, honesty, and respect that each client deserves. They are committed to helping you throughout life's journeys, from adoptions to estate planning and legal issues in between. They are here to help. Give them a call at 443-4181 or visit them on the web at wahooattorneys.com. The information obtained in this advertisement is not intended to be legal advice. You should consult an attorney regarding individual legal advice for your situation.
Welcome back to the 2022 Nebraska American Legion Class B Junior State Tournament at Wahoo, Nebraska's Sam Crawford Field, and we have a great game going on for you right now. Double elimination game between Sutton and Wayne, and currently we have what? It looks like Sutton's ahead 3-2.
Yep, that is correct, Kelly.
And what a beautiful day for it.
Yes, indeed, Kelly. A hot day, but one story, no humidity whatsoever. Very, very low.
Like 47% or something like that.
47% right now, and just a dew point, not down to 35%, a dew point of 60. So the very, very dry heat here today in the county seat of Saunders County, this state tournament. Pitch on the way to Jace Dean. He swings and misses at strike one. Dean up after the base running mistake as the runner picked off second to end the first inning.
You want to talk about a dirty start from Thomas Bondi. You get started with a slider running away from you on the very first pitch of the inning. Clearly Dean not on time and out of rhythm, uncomfortable rocking chair swing.
Bondi going exclusively from the stretch. The 1-1 is also high. 2 balls and a strike. Thielen not a fan of the upper corner. As we said, not too much of a difference. Maybe just a little bit with the lower corner between Thielen and that of Jimmy Moats, who is our first base umpire today, as that's fouled out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, now if you're Jace Dean, it's time to keep that front shoulder in, really drive with your hips here instead of your upper body. You let those hips drive and bring your core with it. Keep your hands connected to your back hip here. Be real short with 2 strikes. Time to shorten up, choke, and poke right here.
In the air. And that is going to be caught out in center. And Sutton gets the first out.
And a good job by Dean. He puts ball in the air. Obviously not exactly what you want, and that's the product of a bad hand path through the swing. Brought his hands from high in the zone to low, but he dropped those hands straight down as he came, or with his first motion, pops that ball up.
Yeah, and we saw that ball go a ways with the wind blowing out, but just enough off of the sweet spot to keep it in play, as there's a swing and a miss by the pitcher Wyatt Hikus as we reach the bottom of this Blue Devil lineup with 1 away in the second. Bondi's next offering swung on and lined over the head of Carson Mao, a base hit. And, well, he was thinking about second, but he'll think better of it. It's just a long single.
Kind of hit it where they weren't, and kind of a check marker out there by Declan Peterson. But a good piece right there from Wyatt Hikus, the pitcher. Keeps his hands inside of a baseball, keeps his hands level through the zone. On time for the middle out fastball, and now standing on first base with 1 gone.
Second hit for Wayne as they look to tie this game up. Grounder to third.
Ole!
Blocked. Can he recover in
Oh,
time?
no.
Nope, he's going to throw it away instead. And the only question will be how many errors will be assessed on that play to Ferguson as we await the decision. Looks like they're just going to score the throwing error. And Wayne has 2 in scoring position with 1 out.
Yeah, and kind of what we talked about there down at third base. And Ole on that ball, instead of keeping his head down and those hands through the baseball, pulls both off, pulls his head out there.
Ryan Karski will be summoned, and a runner for Hikus at third.
I believe that'll be Leesburg.
Yep, Will Leesburg.
But we talked about it, pulled his head out of there, and then that pulled his hands right with him. Ends up being an Ole down at third base. And then worst yet, you compound one mistake with another, completely sails the throw over Reed.
So a golden opportunity here. For Wayne to tie, if not take the lead. And we see a square to bunt by Ryan Karski, and I think that was called a strike by Robbie Thielen, and it's 0-1.
It was indeed, but interesting strike call. Ort not quite able to frame that. He's getting ready to hop out in direct traffic on this bunt, and we're going to see Gamble with his classic strategy here. He's going to go with a safety squeeze to get this 1 run in. Oh, there's a stab.
He went around, and it's 0-2.
Yep, stabbed at that one, and now it's time to shorten up, choke and poke right here, settle for a base poke out into right. Lot of green grass out there in right center field.
A square to bunt with 2 strikes, and he was just able to pull back a ball and 2 strikes.
Steve Spongeberg trying to communicate to his defense what he wants on this bunt situation.
Yep, corner infielders on the edge of the grass line here for head coach Steve Spongeberg. Others, now second base sneaking into first.
Squared
He's
and
swung
stabbed.
at that, and they have to throw down to first, and the tag is made. Neither runner advances, and that's out number 1.
Nearly a dangerous situation right there. 2 guys at the bag. Ort not entirely sure who to throw to, and Reed ends up making a nice recovery to not compound that into another error and another run.
So now it's Devin Anderson's turn, now with 2 down. That is down the middle for strike 1.
Steve Spongeberg continuing to give calls to Weston Ort, pitch him backwards. And first pitch slider right there from Bondi. Anderson definitely not in rhythm for that one.
That's rocketed into right field. It'll be
pair.
tied. Robbie Gamble's going to roll the dice. The throw is going to be well late, and Wayne will have a 4-3 lead, and throw gets away, and that will allow Anderson up to second base. Timeout is called by Kevin Marr. And it looks like Ort might be shaken up, as that's why.
Well, Weston Ort relayed to the plate, skipped in, and got him square in the face. I believe we're going to have to check, make sure he's not bleeding.
Yep.
No chompers missing, and Ort tough as nails back there. He's going to be okay.
Yep. Kevin Marr thought there was blood. That's why he ended that play after Anderson reached second.
Well, Kevin Marr, also a football official we previously mentioned. The slightest sign of injury, he's going to stop play and get a trainer out. And especially in this heat, injuries begin to compound on you and become worse as you keep playing through it.
Skipped in, ball 1. That will allow Anderson to get up to third.
And a good attempt there by Ort to keep that ball in front of him. Unfortunately, just kicks off the left side of his chest protector, a little far out of play, and an aggressive read right there by Devin Anderson, seeing that ball barely kick away and advances another 90 feet.
Just inside, 2 balls and no strikes.
Well, there's some Robbie Thielen inside corner call. Looked pretty good to Liston, and obviously very different counts to a 4-hole hitter, 1-1 and 2-0.
Indeed. That's in there. It's 2-1.
And then appeals to what Thielen likes to call strikes. Bondi comes with a fastball a little off the outside black and a great 2-0 pitch. Enough that Liston's not hunting it, but still inside Robbie Thielen's established zone.
Shifted out of play, 2-2. I mean, Robbie Thielen has the correct height for the most part, maybe a little bit off of that upper corner. But the thing you got to do, you almost have to shift it a bit outside of where it should be set.
Well, and that's what we talked about. He takes away that first ball width off the inside corner as we saw the curveball to Liston be ruled for a ball. There's a great piece.
That's into center field, left center field, base
dear.
hit, and then gets away. That brings in another run, and it's 5-3 Wayne, and this scoring fest here early continues.
Well, and like we just talked about, Liston does a good job, and Bondi goes to the well one too many times, leave the slider a little fat there. Liston does a good job, stay right on it, hands level through the zone. Singles out into center, and then a not-so-great job knocking that ball down, allows him an extra 90 feet, and I believe we're going to see Steve Spongeberg go to the pin.
Yep, possibly. will score that as a single and an error, and that is the third error on Sutton. Very abnormal to see that many this early in the game.
Steve Spongeburg very animated with his defense and his pitching staff right now.
Yep.
This might be the most animated we have seen him as the tournament progresses here.
Yes, he is all kinds of unhappy right now with his defense.
And to an extent, he has a right to be. 3 errors through 2 innings. You don't win a whole lot of games playing that kind of baseball.
Robbie Thielen very cautiously walking out to the mound, giving Steve Spongeburg an extra couple of seconds there.
The third inning will be brought to you by Chip's Restaurant and Bar, located on the corner of
So we now will see the catcher, Caleb Moormeyer.
open for dine-in, takeout, or curbside. Stop by Chip's, south corner of Wahoo Legion Baseball.
Runner on second with 2 outs. This third out, very elusive from this Sutton defense. That is in there for strike 1.
It's a good job by Bondi after his manager comes out, gets on his case a little bit. Good job to respond, power in a fastball, and start up 0-1.
That one got him, and he will go to first base. And Robbie Gamble wasting no time as we will see a runner. And who will we go to? We saw Leesburg run earlier in this inning.
Won't be Leesburg here.
Oh, no. Can you have the same runner for both? It's
No. Once you
it's not.
It's an interesting rule. Once you enter Will Leesburg for his runner, he has to continue courtesy running for that man. He can't switch courtesy runners without burning the player.
Yep. And this will be Kaysen York, the runner, at first base. As we see the left fielder, Cade Keller, stand in. First and second now with 2 down. Wayne regaining the lead at 5-3, and it could be more. Nope. As center was trot again, and he was on his horse enough to survive it. Steve Spongeburg still very animated. We go to the third. It's Wayne 5, Sutton 3 in association with Saunders County Online. This is the Eastern Nebraska Sports Network.
Medicine Man Pharmacy of Wahoo supports our broadcast of the American Legion Class B Junior State Championships. At Medicine Man Pharmacy, we aspire to be the pharmacy provider confidently chosen by our clients for their family's everyday health needs because of our expertise, integrity, and honestly, consistently exceeding their expectations. Reliability, bright spot, value, integrity, community building, and so much more can be found at Medicine Man Pharmacy of Wahoo. Brett Eady with Nebraska Realty in Wahoo sponsors this broadcast of the American Legion Junior Class B State Tournament. Brett Eady and Nebraska Realty is here to help with expertise and personal service for both sellers and buyers. With experience working through what's happening in the marketplace, financing, terms and conditions, help with getting pre-approved, writing contracts, home inspections, and all things to help you get home. Thank you, Brett Eady, for being a part of our coverage on Eastern Nebraska Sports Network and Saunders County Online.
Welcome back to Sam Crawford Field in Wahoo, Nebraska for the 2022 Nebraska American Legion Class B Junior State Tournament right here on Saunders County Association with Eastern Nebraska Sports Network. Again, make sure you say thank you to all the sponsors who help bring all the action to you. And if you happen to be down at Title's Lounge, welcome to the game and enjoy the air conditioning. We wish we could bring it with us.
Yes, indeed.
A limited number of freshly made, cold-cut turkey ham sandwiches at the concession stand. Stop by, pick yours up. $4. All proceeds go to benefit Wahoo Baseball.
And I don't know if you heard that, but, you know, if you wanted to come on down and get your turkey cold cut sandwich and then take it out to
Yeah,
titles, you can certainly do that.
That's a brand new one. I have never heard us sell the cold cuts before.
Sitting there for a strike. Dandy pitch there, and it's 0-1 to Thomas Bondi, who is at the plate. And they just announced he is now at 54 pitches, and he is, well, really, you go over 30, you are out for the rest of this tournament. And
that one got Moormeyer.
that got Caleb Moormeyer, and Robbie Thielem wasting no time granting the injury timeout there.
Looks like that one got him on top of the leg.
Yep.
Just the one little chink in the armor for the catchers. Your arms and the tops of your legs both exposed, and that one nicked up Moormeyer a little bit.
And a big thank you as well to the Eastern Nebraska Sports Network sponsors. Our top sponsor, premier sponsor, Hessler Sullivan Klein, also Inspro Insurance, Midtown and Weston BP, Medicine Man Pharmacy, Corner Market, Hughes Farms, Wahoo State Bank, and Farmers Mutual United Insurance Company for their support. All of our broadcasts this year would not be possible without their support, as it is a ball and 2 strikes now, as we have brought you arguably some of the best possible games this year, as we've been all over Eastern Nebraska seeing great baseball played.
Well, it's kind of the motto of the Eastern Nebraska Sports Network, streaming the best of sports across East Nebraska, and certainly that's been showcased here. It's been a whale of a tournament, and seen a lot of high-scoring games as everybody gets deeper into their pitching staffs and gets later here in the tournament. And see, this is where, after that last pitch, this is where I want to discuss with Hikas. He had an 0-2 count, kind of had a waste curveball, had a foul ball, another waste curveball, and then spiked his four-seam. Now you go from 0-2 to 3-2, and simply just could have been prevented with a more competitive pitch 0-2.
Ground ball to short, and as it didn't get in the baseline, that was hot to Gavin Redden, and that is a rather easy out number 1.
It's a good play by Redden. You don't see it a whole lot at juniors. Guy going to his backhand at shortstop does a good job. Just plant, turn, and let it rip. And that's a tough play at baseball no matter what level you're at.
And it is now Declan Peterson's turn. First pitch gets away, ball 1.
I think Hikas right now mainly just overthrowing that curve a little bit. Instead of having it break 18 inches or 2 feet, maybe just settle that curveball breaks 8 to 12 inches, just enough to miss barrels and enough to change up locations, tempo, and eye level. Oh!
Yeah, good spot there. No call. 2 balls and no strikes.
You wonder where that one missed. It looked good, and obviously at this angle it's going to be tough to tell. Obviously Moormeyer made it look pretty good, but you wonder where that one missed.
3 balls, no strikes to count.
Well, now time to bear down and compete right here. If you're Wyatt Hikas, obviously he's working with a really quick tempo. Like to see him maybe just slow it down just a tick, let him compose and mentally get ready to go compete and win an at-bat.
That's ball 4, a 4-pitch walk to Declan Peterson, a 1-out base runner for Sutton. And that takes us to the second baseman, Carson Mao. And this is obviously the player to watch. Mao's had a very good overall season for Sutton. So it'll be quite interesting to see how Wayne approaches him here. Mao takes it down the middle for strike 1.
There's a good job by Hikas. Take a deep breath, and obviously a lot of time between that 4-pitch walk and his delivery right there. Allowed him to mentally kind of refresh himself, refocus, dial back in, aim small, miss small, and deliver strike 1.
And he will be ahead in the count, no balls and 2 strikes, as that's fouled down the left field line. That's just high. Started too high. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And
Wayne crowd certainly thought it had enough, but I can tell you that broke too late.
And textbook example, bending a curveball around the zone, although a much better 0-2 curveball offering there from Hikas. Much more competitive, closer to the zone.
That
But now,
is inside, and it's 2-2.
now we're going to see him fall behind a little bit, and time to redial it back in here. If you're Hikas, can't afford to lose him right here. Go to 3-2, or much worse, put him on.
I've been interested to see how we haven't seen more pitches on the outside corners. There's
Ooh.
a swing and a miss.
Well,
That's out number 2, and Mao is furious with himself there.
yeah, thank you very much. Mao chases the heater up. But it's a textbook example. We've talked about it most of the tournament. A pitcher's ability to effectively tunnel. Hikas changing the eye level there with the curveball and the fastball. He has a high curveball that misses up on 0-2, goes to the fastball, and then goes to the fastball again. And Hikas helps him out, or pardon me, Mao helps him out and chases up the ladder.
First pitch called a strike to Aiden Jones. Sutton at the plate here in the 3rd inning. They have a 2-run deficit, tying run at the plate here. Jones chops
Tailor-made.
this one off the mound too short across the diamond. Dugout, and the
Wow.
side is retired. A good dig there, and that will hold Sutton scoreless in the 3rd. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. It's Wayne 5, Sutton 3 in association with Saunders County Online. This is the Eastern Nebraska Sports Network.
Brett Eady with Nebraska Realty in Wahoo sponsors this broadcast of the American Legion Junior Class B State Tournament. Brett Eady and Nebraska Realty is here to help with expertise and personal service for both sellers and buyers. With experience working through what's happening in the marketplace, financing, terms and conditions, help with getting pre-approved, writing contracts, home inspections, and all things to help you get home. Thank you, Brett Eady, for being a part of our coverage on Eastern Nebraska Sports Network and Saunders County Online. Titles Lounge and Sports Bar is a sponsor of our coverage of the 2022 Nebraska American Legion Class B Junior State Championship on Eastern Nebraska Sports Network and Saunders County Online. Titles will be open after 11 a.m. with a cool place to watch the tournament. Order pizza or bring your own food and enjoy the in-house beverages while watching the game in the lounge, game room, or check out the beer garden. And after the tournament, remember Titles Lounge and Sports Bar for watching all local sports events with friends and family right here in downtown Wahoo.
You've been watching the 2022 Nebraska American Legion Class B Junior State Tournament with a combination of Eastern Nebraska Sports Network and Saunders County Online YouTube. And Mike, Joe Klein, Kelly Johnson, I'm here with you. Actually, this has ended up a great endeavor. We've kind of worked together, and I appreciate you guys' call a game. And it's been fun to be able to reach out to those people who just can't be here.
Well, we appreciate the use of the equipment. Obviously, a little bit more advanced than what we've got at the Eastern Nebraska Sports Network. It's been a great experience calling the game from this vantage point with this equipment.
Yeah, here we go to the bottom of the 3rd, and of course, thank you to Kelly for producing this broadcast. The production has been wonderful thus far. And we know that will only continue as we get later and later into this tournament, as the first pitch stays right on the lower part of the zone, and it's 0-1 to Zach McMangle.
Well, that one bent through the zone right there, and a good delivery from Bondi for his first offering. Got to pitch backward, as has been a common recurring theme.
That got him on underneath of the left arm, and so Wayne gets the leadoff runner on.
Well, and there's a good chance we'll see Robbie Gamble right here going back to the same thing that's worked for him most of the tournament. I'll bet you $1 to dime he will have Jace Dean square around right here.
Brings up number 3, Jace Dean.
Yep, Jace Dean will be the batter. Has called a strike, and it is 0-1.
I'm Bondi right here. I think about going right back to the well. I might go slider or curveball again here. He's commanded it pretty well, and we've seen the fastball be a little wild today, so maybe time to stick with what's been working here lately.
Square to bump, pulls back, pitches low, and it is 1-1.
Not a
Square
good
to
bunt.
Back to the mound. The throw to second is in time, and that's out number 1.
That is not a good bunt right there if you're Dean. A little too firm on the speed and then did not do a very good job getting it down either line. Obviously, Bondi able to just hop right off the hill, turn and fire, and takes away the sacrifice. That'll make it a fielder's choice instead.
Second base on the fielder's choice. That brings up
So that takes us to the
Wyatt
pitcher,
Hikus.
Wyatt Hikus.
And Hikus did a good job his last time at the plate, staying short on a 2-strike fastball and just being able to drive it out into right center field.
Skips in. It's blocked, but nonetheless up to second base.
And that's a little bit
There's Dean.
what we talked about earlier. Coach Gamble's guys get a very aggressive read on what they're able to do. See that ball down in the dirt, catcher unable to block it. Ort doesn't do a good enough job to keep it in front of him. Looked almost more as if it got blocked by Robbie Thielen.
Called a strike.
Well, it looked a tick high, but now time to put that in the memory banks and time for Hikus stay short to another ball here, see if he can find a way to choke and poke one through the right side, potentially score a run, but more importantly, just keep extending the inning.
That one drops in there as well, and it's a ball and 2 strikes.
Well, we talk about pitchers again tunneling effectively, and that one, the most textbook example of them all. Bondi goes the fastball up, gets a lucky enough called strike, but then drops in the curveball. Hikus kind of folded and buckled by it, and now he's ahead 1-2.
And that one skied in the air and into the jet stream. That's going to be way deeper than Sutton was expecting, but still not deep enough to advance the runner.
Well, and Dean really not able to advance right there. It looked like he took off a step or two early, but a good job by Dean right there to recognize that he did that and shut it down. Ultimately, at the end of the day, with 2 outs, as fast as Jace Dean is, it's really not going to matter whether or not he's on second or third. A base poke's going to score him anyways. And now you come to a difficult part of that Wayne order, the top with Gavin Redden.
Yeah, top of the order for Wayne. When they have been productive, they've been very productive, Joe. But arguably still the best part still coming here. And obviously that's where if you're Sutton, you've got to look at the good side of things and know that you only have 1 out to get out of this inning.
Yeah, fly ball's not exactly in the cards anymore, nor a line drive right at somebody. You can't afford to have that happen. Now you need that base poke.
Yep, wind still blowing out to center field. Skied in the
Too
air
much
again to center, but it's got too much on it, and the side is retired. We go to the 4th. It's Wayne 5, Sutton 3 in association with Saunders County Online. This is the Eastern Nebraska Sports Network.
Brett Eady with Nebraska Realty in Wahoo sponsors this broadcast of the American Legion Junior Class B State Tournament. Brett Eady and Nebraska Realty is here to help with expertise and personal service for both sellers and buyers. With experience working through what's happening in the marketplace, financing, terms and conditions, help with getting pre-approved, writing contracts, home inspections, and all things to help you get home. Thank you, Brett Eady, for being a part of our coverage on Eastern Nebraska Sports Network and Saunders County Online. Medicine Man Pharmacy of Wahoo supports our broadcast of the American Legion Class B Junior State Championships. At Medicine Man Pharmacy, we aspire to be the pharmacy provider confidently chosen by our clients for their families' everyday health needs because of our expertise, integrity, and honestly, consistently exceeding their expectations. Reliability, bright spot, value, integrity, community building, and so much more can be found at Medicine Man Pharmacy of Wahoo.
Wayne versus Sutton. Wayne ahead 5-3 in an elimination round at the 2022 Nebraska American Legion Class B Junior State Tournament right here on Saunders County Online YouTube with Association of Eastern Nebraska Sports Network. Call of game with Mike and Joe Klein, the Klein brothers, taking care of business here today.
Oh, thank you, Kelly. Welcome back to Sam Crawford Field, folks.
Yeah, we're back here to the fourth after a scoreless third both ways. And it will be the bottom, then the top. First baseman Peyton Reed up here for head coach Steve Spongeberg's squad. He takes the first pitch high for ball one. And again, pitch that on a true, textbook strike zone would be right at the top. But Robbie Thielen established that pitch will not be called. And Reed swings at one on the upper half. Count evens at 1-1.
And there's an interesting point that we were just talking about. Reed obviously sees that first ball up. Wow, got on top of that one, though.
Gets on top of that one, and it is, a great effort by Anderson, but he just can't quite get there in time. Sutton with hit number 6 on the afternoon, and really kind of the biggest question, Joe, is can they take advantage now?
Well, you'd like to hope so. It'll be Reed and then obviously top here, so we've got Eli Nething. But here becomes an interesting point. Reed able to get on top. He saw 3 fastballs, all of them up in the zone. Does a good job to get on top of the third one. Barrel one out into right center for a base poke.
Top of the Sutton order, Eli Nething takes a strike on the lower half. I even think that Caleb Moormeyer was a little surprised there. 0-1.
Well, and there's just one you're going to have to put in the memory bank for when you got 2 strikes on you, that you'll just have to get rid of that ball. Not much you're going to be able to do with that pitch in any count, much less 0-0.
Turn over to first, the runner's back safely. One pitch squared to bump, but it's foul, and it's 0-2.
Been interesting to see whether or not teams have been able to execute the bunt that they've attempted to lay down. We've seen it obviously both ways. We've seen a whole bunch of teams like Robbie Gamble's Wayne squad here that execute it very well. In fact, they've been able to execute it with 2 strikes on them. And then we've seen other squads like Steve Spongeberg's Sutton squad here, maybe not quite as not able to execute it quite as well.
That's fouled out of play. We will try it again.
Please return it to the concession stand. You'll get a tasty treat if you do so. That foul ball brought to you by Brett Eady at Nebraska Realty.
One thing I will say, Joe, with the wind blowing out, we haven't seen too many balls leave the yard yet today. As that one's to left field, that'll split the gap, a base hit. Going first to third, or at least attempting to, and doing so successfully, is Reed. It's a double for Eli Nething.
There's a good poke right there. Got a 2-strike heater up in the zone. Was not going to get cheated by it. Nething does a great job to hunt those heaters. And now you can enjoy your free cone at Dairy Queen at the end of the day. Good job, young man.
So now it's Miles Ferguson here, and you got to be careful here if you're Wayne, as you've got the heart of the Sutton order.
That brings up number 15, Miles Ferguson.
Obviously, after Ferguson, you get Jones, the shortstop, and he's proved that he could handle the stick today. And then behind him, Weston Ort, dangerous part of the Sutton order coming up.
Yep, second and third, nobody out. Listed in at third. That's down the middle, and it's 1-1.
There's a good delivery right there from the pitcher Wyatt Heikus, powering that fastball down on the corner, and that's where you'd like to see him live unless he's trying to set up and tunnel that curveball.
Turn over to second, that
got
gets
away.
That'll allow the Reed to score, and it's 5-4. Big error there for Wayne.
And that's why I've never understood it hardly any time I've seen it. How many times have we seen the back pick to second base, and especially from this Wayne squad, mainly been the one that's been doing it, and it's almost bit more times than it has helped. We saw it work earlier in the game for Sutton as they picked off a runner at second, but right there the exact inverse of what you're looking for. Pitcher choke his throw away, not able to snap his head around fast enough, pick up his target, and it ends up costing you a run.
Squared a bunt, but that is foul.
Popped right over that nasty Crawford lip, and a fortunate one at that. We've seen a few balls here that when they knock on that lip will go back fair.
So a ball and 2 strikes now the count. And I think Robbie Thielen and Kevin Marr crossed up there.
You've got some action down here in the Sutton bullpen. I believe that's left fielder Aiden Jones warming right now.
Be interesting to see what Steve Spongeburg does here. That's
nope, could be 2.
Too short. That is a double play. And just like that, there are 2 down. And there is absolutely nothing that you can do different there, Joe.
Yeah, just kind of a tough break. Line drive, and shortstop obviously holding, and then to compound matters, make it even worse, he's coming 2 steps in to field that line drive, and you're turning around, bellying up to that baseball, seeing the ball gets through, and unfortunately you just watch that ball get caught, and nothing you can do there.
To second, and the inning is over. Sutton gets 1, though. We're halfway home. It's Wayne 5, Sutton 4 in association with Saunders County Online. This is the Eastern Nebraska Sports Network.
On May 1st, 1960, noted Wahoo attorneys Harlan A. Bryant, George W. Hessler, and Robert E. Sullivan formed the law firm of Bryant, Hessler, and Sullivan. The founding members sought to provide their clients in the Eastern Nebraska area with the highest quality legal advice and legal services. Currently, the firm is known as Hessler, Sullivan, and Klein. Throughout the years, the name of the firm has changed slightly, but the mission of the law firm continues to remain the same. First, Hessler, Sullivan, and Klein provides their clients with the best legal advice and legal services available. Second, the attorneys treat every client with the courtesy, honesty, and respect that each client deserves. They are committed to helping you throughout life's journeys, from adoptions to estate planning and legal issues in between. They are here to help. Give them a call at 443-4181 or visit them on the web at wahooattorneys.com. The information obtained in this advertisement is not intended to be legal advice. You should consult an attorney regarding individual legal advice for your situation.
Welcome back to the 2022 Nebraska American Legion Class B Junior State Tournament in Wahoo, Nebraska, Sam Crawford Field. We have a great game going on. It's a 1-point separation between Sutton and Wayne. Sutton's on top. Is that correct? Or at this point in time?
Nope, Wayne leads
No,
this
Wayne leads this
5-4,
one. We're
actually.
going into the bottom of the 4th.
Yep, bottom of the 4th inning, halfway of this game. And a tight one at that. 5-4, offensive early, kind of the exact inverse of what we saw last night, Joe.
Well, yeah, obviously last night through 3.5 innings, we saw 7 zeros posted, and then an offensive explosion as that one ended up being 13-12 between Sutton and Lincoln Christian. Lincoln Christian obviously coming out on top. But now we're going to see how both these Sutton and Wayne squads respond after in the past 3 half innings, a 0, a 0, and a 1. So we're going to see how Wayne can end up doing, if they can put up an insurance run, answer the bell right here. Obviously Sutton cutting the lead back down in the top half of the inning.
Ryan Karski set to lead off the Blue Devil 4th. Loser goes home. Winner advances to tomorrow night's 5 o'clock game, the first of a possible 2. And whether or not that is played for a state championship as the pitch is fouled. Strike 1. That is all dependent on what happens tonight, as Lincoln Christian, with a loss, would force the 7 o'clock, if necessary, game tomorrow night, and that would be the one that would be played for at all. So we will see how Lincoln Christian approaches that matchup.
They'll be playing Plattsmouth this evening.
That is correct. As that's taken for a strike. 0-2. Myself, Nick Milliken, the Wahoo State Bank Reds, the Senior Legion head coach here in Wahoo, and Plattsmouth head coach Tim Winters were discussing the scenarios and what might happen with Lincoln Christian tonight. Might be very likely, as that's into left field for a base hit. 6th hit for Wayne, and the leadoff runner is on.
I see a few important things right there. Bondi leaves that two-strike Bondi leaves that two-strike curveball a little too fat, and Karski does a good job staying on it. Saw it the whole way out of the hand, and you saw the discontent from Steve Spongeberg right there with his pitcher. Obviously, with 2 strikes, you'd like to see that a little further outside the zone.
Devin Anderson now to hit. Runner for first, nobody down. Double play formation in order for Sutton. That's foul tipped. Strike 1, and actually that is straight up foul ball as Ort had a bit of trouble handling it. Either way, 0-1.
Oh, Bondi does a good job to answer right there. Powers in a curveball a little bit better located that time. Ends up getting strike 1.
Turn over to first, and the runner is back safely. Karski at first base. First of 2 semifinals, halfway home from Sam Crawford Field this state tournament. That's upstairs, 1-1.
Important right there is Karski on first base. You've got 2, 3, 4 here in your Wayne order. You can get on, and obviously Aiden Liston's done a good job proving today that he can handle a stick. He's already driven in a few runs today. We'll see if that trend continues.
That's underneath of Jones, a base hit. Tied at 7 in hits. Now
It's going to be a tough play if Jones doesn't come up with that, and tough play to read. You obviously want to keep your glove all the way down, but nobody's perfect, and on a hard hit ball like that, your reaction time is just so far decreased that it can be a tough play for Jones whether or not he comes up with it.
dangerous part of the order here for, dangerous part of the order for Wayne up here. First and second, nobody down. And that is going to be into center field, a base hit. The throw to the plate is cut off, and Wayne has a 6-4 lead.
Well, and actually a not bad pitch by Bondi. Kind of gets a half-hearted swing out of Liston, but Liston continues his hot pattern at home plate. Does a good job to slap that one out into center field, and he's going to pick up another ribby.
Catcher Caleb Moormeyer now. Chopped foul over towards this Mustang dugout, 0-1.
Interesting that Caleb Moormeyer not going to square, as obviously he got first and second, nobody down, and we've seen Robbie Gamble have his guys square around in some unconventional situations, and you'd like to think the most obvious one of them all that you'd have your 5-hole hitter square, but trust Moormeyer enough with the stick that he's going to have him hit for himself, or at least so far.
Another good block, 1-1. We've seen several of those today from West to North, the Sutton catcher.
Well, and that's an important one because obviously we've seen Anderson very aggressive on those dirt ball reads and gets a good jump and is able to advance a few bases. And then Aiden Liston, another good athlete over at first base. He's simply keying on whether or not he sees Anderson break for third on the dirt ball.
That time, however, it gets away, and now Wayne has 2 in scoring position and a chance really to bring in some huge insurance runs and put themselves in potentially a good position to win this game as we move later and later into this one.
Oh, we talked about the dirt ball read. You saw no hesitation from either runner right there. Anderson breaking immediately once he sees that ball kicked down and away, and Liston keying off of him. He saw those hips break and saw those first 2 steps, and he was able to follow him right into second base. And now we're going to see Gamble squad bunt. That's going to be a good one.
That's a squeeze
and how about
attempt
that?
Works, and then some as an out isn't recorded, and it's 7-4.
A catcher with a bunt single and a absolute beauty by Moormeyer right there. And now we're going to see a visit from Steve Spongeberg, but how about it?
It appears as though the bullpen door is open, and we wonder if we will see Steve Spongeberg make a move here. And I think he will do just that. That would be all indications as of now.
Well, I'm not sure he's going to change yet. I think right now simply discussing bunt situational defense and what he wants done, and then also he's going to discuss here. We got first and third, which is a situation in younger age baseball where I believe we may see a courtesy runner or simply just a conversation.
Yep.
But it's something you talk about in younger age baseball.
Yep, and the 30 seconds is up, so Spongeberg will not be able to make the move here as he does not designate it in time. And I might stand corrected. Steve Spongeberg might be telling his defense what to do here. And if you bet that Steve Spongeberg hadn't been in this situation before, as long as he's been around, I would bet you he has been in this exact scenario before. I mean, just what a coach you could ask for in Steve Spongeberg, a man who's coached at all levels, really.
Well, we talked about it, how well coached this Sutton team is. They're very experienced, and they execute fairly well. Obviously, if they've come down the home stretch here, a few bumps that you'd like to see removed from their game, but nobody's going to play perfect. We'll see how his team responds, and exactly what we just talked about there. A situation first and third. You see your runner from first, and Robbie Gamble wasting no time sends Moormeyer on the first pitch. It becomes an interesting situation because if Ort throws through, you have enough time that Liston most likely can sneak in. But as kids get older and older, you have everybody in the infield get a better and better arm, and speed stay relatively the same or barely any better. Becomes more and more difficult to execute what you could call a modified double steal.
Block makes it 2-1, and we said earlier in this tournament, this fresh layer of Agrelime starting to wear out a bit now, Joe, and that is experienced. We haven't seen quite the true hops we saw Saturday and Sunday.
Well, we got that little bit of rain Saturday night, and infield gets watered every night. And obviously with the heat and the sunlight, grass has been growing, so the Crawford carpet is well in effect.
Throw to first, not in time, gets away. 2-run score. Wayne has burst this game open. It is now 9-4.
And there's one you'd like to see.
E5 the decision on that.
That's one you'd like to see made. You'd like to see your shortstop Jones make a better throw. You'd argue that Reed should have come up with it, and just not a great executed play defensively right there. When you get soft contact, you'd like to convert it to outs, and we've talked about that the whole tournament. Teams that don't do a good enough job of converting soft contact to outs have a hard time winning games, be it elimination game, winner's bracket game, and there's a good chance we'll see it again at the state championship.
Zach McMangle now up. Turnover to first, and the runner is back safely.
A little bit of concrete feet right there, a desperation slip and slide dive, trying to get back to the bag. Looks like the dirt over at first base still plenty deep. Had a hard time getting the wheels spinning there.
Fouled out of play. 0-1.
And Coach Gamble exactly correct. Speaking to Zach McManigal, Got to engage his bottom half right here. He's been all upper half. He drops the hands as his swing starts and then just simply rotating the torso through. Needs to engage that back hip, pop it through, keep his hands and his back hip connected here and drive through a baseball.
Turn over to first. The runner is back safely. Day 4 of 5 of this state tournament. Hard to believe we are down to just 4 or less remaining. Square to bunt, pulls back, pitch is skipped in, 1-1.
Here you'd like to see a Sutton defense collect some outs. They have yet to collect an out this inning. Already 4 home and nobody out in a very difficult situation.
Both these teams looking to advance to game 1 of a possible 2 tomorrow evening on Championship Wednesday, 5 p.m. the first pitch for that one. That is fouled, and it's 1-2.
And now you got to finish a job right here if you're Bondi, be it you get some soft contact on a ground ball, on a well-located fastball, you keep him off balance with a curveball, see an awkward-looking swing, you can roll a pair, or you'll even take a swing and miss and a strikeout here. But right now it is time for a very competitive pitch and what you'd much more prefer, a strike.
Grounder to third, and that's a fair ball as he touched it in fair territory. And it's first and second. Still nobody out. Another error.
Well, and there we have a textbook example of not being able to pick a hop, kind of got caught in between. You'd like to see him either take the short hop one-handed and simply collect an out at first base, or play that long hop, still have a shot at 2, but more importantly, just collect an out somewhere and bring up first baseman Jace Dean.
Yep. Jace Dean, the first baseman, has a big shot here. That is a strike called, and it's 0-1.
And he's ran the slider kind of away from Dean the whole day, and Dean simply not seeing it out of the hand and unable to have an approach at that. Be interesting to see if Dean's able to make some sort of adjustment either beyond that or simply get rid of it enough that he can see a fastball that's much more manageable for him as we see him get another one right there.
Yeah, well, for the first time in what seems like a while, Bondi is ahead in the count. No balls and 2 strikes, and Steve Spongeburg will shift his corner infielders back here.
Well, he's done a good job. Bondi's done an okay job getting ahead. He's done well with strike 1 and strike 2, and he's even done a good job late in the count of getting soft contact, being able to get outs. His defense right now just unfortunately unable to collect those.
That was high.
Tried the curveball and tried to overspin it right there. Bondi opting for the big slow curve and didn't quite find the release point, didn't quite have that one pinned down.
So Bondi will go on 1-2. That 1-2 crossing a little bit too high for home plate umpire Robbie Thielen's liking. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Fair ball.
Good adjustment.
Split the gap between first and second. That'll, yes, we'll bring one more home, and it is 10-4.
There's an excellent adjustment by Jace Dean. He finally is able to stay on that slider, keep his hands and his weight back, wait on it enough to get to that outside corner, and puts a ball on a line between first and second base. Excellent piece of hitting, young man. He's going to get an RBI out of it.
Yep. Calvin Ankeny will be the runner here for Jace Dean, a pinch runner here, and we have heard that Dean will eventually check back in, but you know what Robbie Gamble's thinking here. He's thinking about getting that run at first home and thinking about putting this one away, Joe. it
Well, you're
would take
coming-
would be 2 runs and a 0 in the Sutton 5th.
Well, you're coming to Hikus and then back to the top of the lineup and still have no outs in the inning. Right now, if you're Robbie Gamble, it's time to put the foot on the throat right here. You get two runs and 3 outs and end up be out of this game already.
Wayne would make it back to the state championship game. I believe that would be their first trip in 4 years to the junior state championship game. Could be wrong on that, but that's as far as I recall. And it's 0-1. I certainly do remember that they won this junior state tournament in 2018 up at Pawnee Park in Columbus. The 0-1, good block from Ort, no advancement.
Interesting to see Robbie Gamble not have Wyatt Hikus square around right here. I would think almost, you say sake of sportsmanship that you're not bunting with this kind of lead. And to an extent, you are correct. You don't want to bunt with this kind of lead. But also, you're going to give up an out should the bunt be able to be fielded and the exchange made. And it puts you in a better situation, so an interesting little quirk in the game.
Yep. 1 ball, 1 strike to count to
Nope,
the bottom of
2-1.
the Wayne order. Or 2 balls, 1 strike to count, I beg your pardon, to the bottom of the Wayne order. That's fouled, and it's 2-2.
Hikus on that curveball did a good job keeping his weight back on it. He was right on time. Now it's time for Bondi to deliver a good pitch right here, and you'd prefer this one to be a strike, not messing around and certainly not giving a free bag to Wyatt Hikus.
That's popped up.
Should be
That
infield
will
fly.
Yep, infield fly should be in effect. It's called by home plate umpire Robbie Thielen. The batter should be out. I saw Robbie Thielen point. Robbie Gamble not happy. And Gamble gonna keep going on Thielen. Would you have called infield fly there, bro?
There it becomes an interesting situation. If you'll recall, a few years ago, we saw a situation between the Cardinals and the Dodgers a few years ago. There was a fly ball to shallow left field that was called infield fly, and in fact, Cosmo is being called off by Matt Holliday. We aren't quite to that point yet. It wasn't quite that deep, but I'm not entirely sure that I'm going to call infield fly on that.
So second and third now with 1 out. Steve Spongeburg told Robbie Thielen, he signaled it, but told Robbie Thielen that he had to speak up there to avoid the confusion.
Number 12, Gavin Redden.
So the top of the Wayne lineup here at the plate, infield shifted in for head coach Steve Spongeburg's squad. The pitch on the way to Redden, he is taking the whole way, and it's 0-1. Elimination semifinal here from Crawford Field. That's high, and it's 1-1. We have our other semifinal, the 2-0 versus 1-1 semifinal, or the 2-0 and 1-loss semifinal. The, I guess 3-0. I'll beg your pardon.
The
And
winner's
2-1
bracket winner
semifinal.
versus loser's bracket opponent.
Yep.
Best way to describe that.
Yep, Platt Smith and Lincoln Christian coming up, and that is caught in foul territory. And that's out number 2, and big chance here for Sutton to get off the field.
And a good job by Bondi to get some soft contact, and he's gotten one fortunate out on the infield fly rule call, and then obviously Reed able to collect that one in foul territory.
Chopped at the plate. 0-1. just off the corner, 1-1.
It was a good spot by Bondi, and we've seen that been called a few times today by Robbie Thielen.
Yep, a little bit of inconsistency, but nothing that has overall impacted this game. That's a base hit.
It's a good
Robbie
score, too.
Gamble's rolling the dice. The throw home is in time.
A well-executed relay right there. Good job by Peyton Reed. Puts that throw right on the money. It will keep this game going.
Beautiful throw will keep Sutton in it at least to the bottom of the fifth. We go to the fifth inning. It is Wayne 11, Sutton 4 in association with Saunders County Online. This is the Eastern Nebraska Sports Network.
On May 1st, 1960, noted Wahoo attorneys Harlan A. Bryant, George W. Hessler, and Robert E. Sullivan formed the law firm of Bryant, Hessler, and Sullivan. The founding members sought to provide their clients in the eastern Nebraska area with the highest quality legal advice and legal services. Currently, the firm is known as Hessler, Sullivan, and Klein. Throughout the years, the name of the firm has changed slightly, but the mission of the law firm continues to remain the same. First, Hessler, Sullivan & Klein provides their clients with the best legal advice and legal services available. Second, the attorneys treat every client with the courtesy, honesty, and respect that each client deserves. They are committed to helping you throughout life's journeys, from adoptions to estate planning and legal issues in between. They are here to help. Give them a call at 443-4181 or visit them on the web at wahooattorneys.com. The information obtained in this advertisement is not intended to be legal advice. You should consult an attorney regarding individual legal advice for your situation.
It's the 2022 Nebraska American Legion Class B Junior State Tournament elimination round between Wayne and Sutton. Wayne ahead at the bottom of the fourth. They went ahead to 11-4 lead, and really dangerous to that 8-point lead going into the fifth.
Got close to it and just unable. Robbie Gamble tried to score that last run to put us in a mercy rule situation, but well-executed relay by Sutton. A good relay from right field to Peyton Reed at first base, and Reed puts that throw right on the money, and Ort able to tag him out, and now we'll see the catcher, Weston Ort.
Yep, Sutton trails this one 11-4. Big inning for Wayne as they bring 6 home. Could have brought the potential game-sealing run home, but he was gunned down to the plate on a perfect throw from right field. That one misses low. 2 balls and no strikes to Ort.
Top of the fifth for Sutton, number 26.
Was indeed a good pitch. Must have just missed a little low. One looked about 2 ball widths as compared to the one. And
base hit left field for Ort. Yeah, a bit of an Olay. It'll be an interesting scoring decision. They'll give him the benefit of the doubt as it did not contact Liston. 8th hit for Sutton.
It's one you'd like to see Liston put his body in front of, see if he can keep that on the infield. Obviously, if you're Wayne right here, you'd like to have a 0. Simply just get one guy on, bunt him over, and then drive him in this ball game. But you can live with that pitching to a lead. Just got to keep the contact a little softer.
Turn over to first by Hikus. No tag applied.
He did have Ort leaning right there.
You could tell the low humidity playing a factor, seeing the dust cloud over by first base umpire Jimmy Moats following that slide. As a strike is called 0-1 here to Thomas Bondi, the Sutton pitcher. And, Joe, I've got to imagine this on-field temperature's got to be approaching 105, 110 degrees right now.
Maybe not that hot, but well within the realm of 100, maybe at the hottest 105. It is plenty warm today, but obviously Sun losing a little angle as the game keeps going.
Base hit. That is the 9th hit now for Sutton, and first and second with nobody out. We saw between our games.
That brings up number 11, Declan Peterson.
That Nick Milliken and Chase Stebbig were out there with the hose, and it was a good 45 minutes that they had that water running, trying to do what they can to for this.
First pitch, a ball.
Yep. Ball, 1 ball, no strikes, the count. Paul, that room back there does not work, so you might want to talk to John to find some power. That one
Well,
gets
skip
away, and that will allow both runners to move up.
A little bit of life here for the Sutton team. Get your first 2 guys on, then a wild pitch moves them over. You don't even have to sacrifice. Not an out needed to advance them another 90 feet. So we're going to see how this inning progresses if Wyatt Hikas can work his way out of a major jam right here.
Indeed. Yes, a big shot here. 2 balls and no strikes, the count. Nobody out in the 5th. That's outside, and it's 3-0. And, Joe, you almost wonder if head coach Robbie Gamble will put him on to set up the force here at home. You have a 7-run cushion here, and your offense has been no short 11 runs on 11 hits, 2 errors for Wayne to this point. That's ball 4, and the bases will be loaded.
Well, you got a favorable part of the Sutton order coming up here. You head toward the bottom, starting here with Mao, and then it'll be Aiden Jones on deck.
Yep, Mao kind of the last part of the heart of Sutton's order, and that's not to take away for anything for head coach Steve Spudgeberg. He has 9 tremendous hitters in the lineup, but arguably kind of the high point of the order is past. You're kind of on the decline.
Well, and you see that commonly out of small-town teams. I mean, Sutton obviously jumping up to Class B this year, but not a big town by any means.
Yep.
Certainly not an Omaha or a Lincoln metro area team. You see that as a common recurring theme. You even see it in this Wayne baseball team. 1 through 5, Wayne very salty, and then clearly 6 through 9, they have a little bit of a fall off. They'd managed to find a way on, and they can kind of scrap it.
Mao sends that one foul, and it's 0-1. This could arguably be the at-bat of the game here for Sutton. A base hit down the left field line gets 2, and if Steve Spudgeberg rolls the dice and sends his runners early enough, possibly 3, you could be looking at a brand new ball game potentially.
Well, and you certainly, even if it only scores 1, you have a spark.
That's going to get down. That is trapped. 1 run scores, and it's 11-5.
There's a good poke right there by Mao, showing a little bit of the power. Line drive to medium deep center field. Falls in front for a base poke, and you'd like to see Devin Anderson come up with that ball, but at the end of the day, it's more important that he just keeps that in front of him instead of having that hop by, and then you do end up giving up 2-3 runs on the base poke there by Mao.
That's the 10th hit now, so really, Joe, you take a look at the scoreboard, what is the difference? It's got to be the difference in errors. Sutton with 5 defensive miscues today.
Well, and like we said, not all of those runs have directly impacted or led to a run scored, but if you take away that equivalent that we've established, 5 runs to 5 errors, you take away 5 errors from Wayne's line score, and suddenly this is a 6-5 ball game with the tying run 90 feet away. Obviously not the case with those 5 errors, and on the strong positive correlation that each error leading to 1 run.
1-1 the count here on Aiden Jones as we move later and later into this game. And if you're Wayne, if you could get out of this with 1 or even 2 runs, you got to think that Robbie Gamble will have faith in his offense here and put this Sutton team away.
Yeah, you're trying to get out of this with a small damage, minimal, and that's not going to be possible.
That will likely not be the case. Well, Steve Spudgeberg saying station to station, and that was a very good decision as the throw comes back in quickly, but another run scores, and it's 11-6, and what do you know? Sutton may have a little bit of life, and we might be here for a while yet, Joe.
Well, we kind of talked about it. Going to be a quick pitching visit here, but we talked about it. You get those first 2 guys on, obviously you find yourself in a not very good situation. You have trouble when you put the first 2 guys of the inning on, and now the problem with Hikas is he's falling behind in the count and being forced to live in the middle of the plate. And Hikas is a guy that eventually, we've seen it with this Sutton lineup. They've made the adjustment. They made the adjustment last night on Lincoln Christian starter Jake Watson. Watson with a good powering fastball, and you could argue much the same with Wyatt Hikas. Sutton, 2nd, 3rd time through the order, doing a much better job just staying short, hunting the fastball toward the middle of the plate and being on it, and they're showcasing that they have that ability here again today.
So 11-6 now our score. This is a big spot here for Sutton. Believe it or not, the tying run is in the on-deck circle right now. That's a strike. Whoa, I beg your pardon. I jumped the gun a little quick there. 1 ball, no strikes.
That is an excellent call by home plate umpire Robbie Thielen. Did miss a little wide, and obviously the presentation and frame was much better than originally we may have thought it crossed.
And the only reason I thought that was going to be called was that Robbie Thielen, we know how much he likes that outside corner, so.
Right, and he has kind of established that precedent that would be a strike, but now obviously maybe starting to take that away, and now we see Hikas fall behind again, 3-0.
Wayne bullpen is quiet. You got to think Hikas has got to be getting towards the end of that pitch count, so we'll see who Robbie Gamble would turn to here. That is being taken the whole way. Reed didn't think that was a strike, although it certainly crossed right at the top of those, or the bottom of those letters.
Well, and umpires are more tempted, 3-0, non-competitive take right there. More tempted to keep you in the box, so that's going to be a tough play.
Center field, that will get at least 1 home, and Sutton is going to cut this to 11-7.
Nice toss in from Devin Anderson right there, third base pretty much the whole way. But like you said, going to get another run home. But most importantly, Hikas does finally find a way to collect that first out.
Sacrifice fly to center and an RBI on the play. That brings up the top of the Sutton lineup, number 12, Eli Neffing.
So it's the top of the Sutton order. Golden chance here. Runners first and second, 1 down. Golden chance here for Sutton to get right back in this. After Wayne looked like they might be able to put him away. And Joe, as the strike's called 0-1, how big is that throw coming home in time proving right now?
Well, obviously you have the opportunity. That cuts it down, and it'll just keep you playing at a very bare minimum. But right now, I mean, I think that gave Sutton a little bit of a confidence. And the age-old adage, you don't want to make the last out of the inning at the home plate. And unfortunately, Robbie Gamble's squad, he rolled the dice and elected to send his man, and they did make the last out at home plate. Gave Sutton a little bit of a spark here, and they've been able to convert it, but Hikas doing a little bit better job settling back in here.
That is a soft grounder. Crawford Carpet going to slow that one down. That is out number 2. Both runners advance. And that takes us to Miles Ferguson.
Done a good job not to panic right there. Hikas not trying to do too much and hop off the mound to field that ball. We're going to see Eric McMurray check for a scuff or a rip on the seams of that baseball. Maybe potentially also telling Hikas you got to slow down and come set if you're going to work from the stretch. A good job by the Wayne infield not to panic right there. Sometimes those slow squibbers can make you panic a little bit, and it's the one ground ball to second base that you actually have a chance to run out. And as athletes have transcended in the game of baseball, we've seen guys that are bigger and faster and stronger that continue to play the game of baseball. Suddenly those become more difficult outs.
Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2.
Well behind.
Luckily, Wayne looking like they might be able to get a little bit of momentum here. They need 4 to end this game.
Well, and a good response there by Hikas as he went with the fastball there. That one just off the corner.
Yeah, that is outside, 1-2.
But Hikas did a good job coming in with the fastball right there on 0-1. Just power it in. Stick with what's working. And now time to buckle down here. If you're Hikas, count evens at 2-2. You don't want to put these runners in motion. Give a chance for a huge run-scoring play. Could draw this to within 1.
That was fouled at home plate to stay alive. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And, Joe, one thing I got to laugh at is the son of head coach Robbie Gamble basically doing every task imaginable.
He does make a mighty fine bat, ball boy, whatever you prefer to call him. Wow. You want to talk about dialing up. Way to escape. I mean, you have a very sticky situation there for Hikas to get out of that, giving up 3. I mean, thinking about the situation, that could have been much worse for Wayne and Wyatt Hikas.
Yep. So we go to the bottom of the fifth. Wayne leads at 11-7 in association with Saunders County Online. This is the Eastern Nebraska Sports Network.
Titles Lounge and Sports Bar is a sponsor of our coverage of the 2022 Nebraska American Legion Class B Junior State Championship on Eastern Nebraska Sports Network and Saunders County Online. Titles will be open after 11 a.m. with a cool place to watch the tournament. Order pizza or bring your own food and enjoy the in-house beverages while watching the game in the lounge, game room, or check out the beer garden. And after the tournament, remember Titles Lounge and Sports Bar for watching all local sports events with friends and family right here in downtown Wahoo. Medicine Man Pharmacy of Wahoo supports our broadcast of the American Legion Class B Junior State Championships. At Medicine Man Pharmacy, we aspire to be the pharmacy provider confidently chosen by our clients for their families' everyday health needs because of our expertise, integrity, and honestly, consistently exceeding their expectations. Reliability, bright spot, value, integrity, community building, and so much more can be found at Medicine Man Pharmacy of Wahoo.
Welcome back to the 2022 Nebraska American Legion Class B Junior State Tournament as we have Wayne versus Sutton and going into the bottom of the fifth. Wayne ahead 11-7. And we want to say thank you to all of our sponsors as a part of our broadcast on Saunders County Online, YouTube, as well as Eastern Nebraska Sports Network.
Thank you, Kelly. Mike and Joe Klein with you here. We got a bit of an interesting game on our hands, 11-7. And the momentum just going back and forth here, Joe, as we move to the bottom of the fifth.
Well, we've seen it shift both ways. We saw Wayne grab it, obviously, with a 6th spot in the bottom of the 4th. And now Sutton starting to answer back. They got 3 back in the top of the 5th. And we're see what head coach Robbie Gamble and his squad can draw up 4 runs away from ending this game and sending themselves to a state championship game that, quite frankly, some people would argue that they didn't belong in. They've faced some talented squads, namely Wahoo yesterday, and have proved that they deserve to be right where they're at.
And not to mention, after losing to Plattsmouth, they have really gone through. I mean, obviously, you know, Wayne and Alliance, I mean, it's going to be one of those. You have a team like Wayne, as that skips into one. You have a team like Wayne who has, you know, okay competition. Northeast Nebraska, not really known exceptionally in Class B for baseball. That's definitely where you see more of those Class C teams. And then you have Alliance out in the Panhandle. And the problem there is just simply put again, you don't have too many Class B competition. A lot of those teams Class C. I mean, yeah, you have Sydney out that way, but you have Gehring that way, but not a ton of noted Class B teams out that way.
Or the grade of competition that you face from the Class B and the Class C teams out there may not be as high quality as you see here in Eastern Nebraska. Obviously, we have a great advantage, a mere 30 minutes from both metro areas, Lincoln and Omaha.
Yeah, and Wahoo obviously was the shocker. That Eastern Nebraska Baseball League, arguably one of the best Legion baseball conferences in the state.
Oh,
it is packed with teams.
100%, and you saw that at the senior level for those of you that watch the Eastern Nebraska Sports Network. Mount Michael with great talents like Luke Broderick, Will Brewster. You see Ron Colley with a few guys that are really good. Wyatt Yetter, namely, their big gun.
Don't want to take, as Thomas Bondi is out of pitches, pitching changes forthcoming. We'll keep it here for just a minute before we cut the break, but Ashland Greenwood, don't want to take away from Sean Emanuel's squad. He has quite a talented squad every year as well. So, obviously, Wayne, a bit of an underdog here. We will bring you back in association with Saunders County Online. This is the Eastern Nebraska Sports.
Brett Eady with Nebraska Realty in Wahoo sponsors this broadcast of the American Legion Junior Class B State Tournament. Brett Eady and Nebraska Realty is here to help with expertise and personal service for both sellers and buyers. With experience working through what's happening in the marketplace, financing, terms and conditions, help with getting pre-approved, writing contracts, home inspections, and all things to help you get home. Thank you, Brett Eady, for being a part of our coverage on Eastern Nebraska Sports Network and Saunders County Online. Titles Lounge and Sports Bar is a sponsor of our coverage of the 2022 Nebraska American Legion Class B Junior State Championship on Eastern Nebraska Sports Network and Saunders County Online. Titles will be open after 11 a.m. with a cool place to watch the tournament. Order pizza or bring your own food and enjoy the in-house beverages while watching the game in the lounge, game room, or check out the beer garden. And after the tournament, remember Titles Lounge and Sports Bar for watching all local sports events with friends and family right here in downtown Wahoo.
And we're back to the 2022 Nebraska American Legion Class B Junior State Tournament. We have a pitching warm-up session going on right now as Wayne is ahead of Sutton by a score of 11-7. Wayne is up, had a batter walked the pitcher out of throws.
Yep, 105 pitches for Thomas Bondi. You know that head coach Steve Spongeberg trying every strategy he can, Kelly, to preserve pitching in the event that Sutton would win this. And we see him turn to Aiden Jones, who was warming up last inning for Sutton. And really kind of a big spot for both teams if Sutton can put a 0 up. Argue that, we've seen their offense come to life. They could get right back into us. But Wayne with the chance here to take advantage of the new pitcher not quite settling in. I'm sure it'll take them a batter or two to settle in. They could really put themselves in a position to end this game early. And you got the right part of the Wayne order at the plate here in Aiden Liston coming up. And we will see. It looks like a lot of curveballs from Jones. So this could be very, very interesting.
That brings up number 24.
As we see a little bit of a delay here, Jimmy Moats having to get back into position at first base. Now we are ready to go. Jones look again. Liston into the box right-handed. Wind out now to right field, so it seems as though maybe a shift to the north wind here. And the first pitch skips him, ball one, and again, curveball. And I'm not sure if we're going to see a ton of fastballs here. Now, head coach Steve Spongeberg has tried several different pitching strategies today. And, I mean, just Wayne seems to have it figured out here as they lead 11-7. That swung on and missed. Another curveball, 1-1 the count. That skips in. Good block from Ort. He has been very busy behind the plate blocking today. That is not the first. There's been an innumerable amount of blocks. He has been very, very busy here today trying to keep Sutton in it. 2 balls and a strike the count. Pitches into left field. That's over the head, a base hit. Steve Spongeberg not happy there. And it is a double, 12th hit for Wayne. A Dairy Queen double, as a matter of fact. Several of Wayne's players are going to be going home with free ice cream, Kelly.
That's always a good thing on a hot day like this, as we have
indeed.
temps in the low 90s. Feels like on the field probably in the 105 degree range, but that breeze kind of blocked off by the grandstand, so not helping us out in at least right here on the concrete.
Caleb Moormeyer can really have a chance here as Wayne has the winning run in the on-deck circle with nobody out. And if you're Steve Spongeberg here, there's a bunch of different strategies you can try. Do they all come with certain risk? It looks as though they're going to pitch to Moormeyer kind of in the heart of this Blue Devil lineup. That is high. 2 balls, no strikes. Home plate umpire Robbie Thielen has not been a fan of that high corner. Kind of having to fill in. Joe Klein had to step away for a moment. But obviously he would tell you much the same. The 2-0 is fouled out of play.
That foul balls.
And really, Kelly, you want to take a look in a 4-run ball game. The difference right now really showing to be the difference in errors. Sutton with 3 more than Wayne, 5 errors, and that really is kind of the defining factor of this game right now.
And it's a 4-point game, so yeah, that really equals out.
Curveball is hit to left field. Should be deep enough to advance the runner, but Robbie Gamble not happy as that is a pinch runner at third. I don't have my roster with me. I think that's York at third base. Wasn't on the bag, and a big mistake there, as that keeps it an 11-7 game. First base still open here as Caden Keller stands in, and you do have the right part of the order coming up, but Steve Spongeberg looks like he's going to pitch here as the curveball floats in for strike 1. And arguably a huge spot here for Sutton as well, as now with 1 out, maybe a bit of momentum going on their side in this very slow-moving game. Skip Sim 1-1. And Kelly, I got to tell you here, I don't know what Nick Milliken and Mark McGill's strategy are, but the shadow's starting to fill in on the infield. We wonder if we see these lights pop on should this game extend to the 6th inning. It's getting to be that time of day where you start thinking about it. That skips away. Runner's going to try it. The throw is not in time. And it's 12-7. Robbie Thielen says he got in under the tag. Sutton crowd certainly did not think so. But Robbie Thielen was right there on top of this play. And I got to give credit where credit's due. Kevin Marr and his crew have been very good. With this 4-man crew, you always have an umpire at every base right on top of every play. So that is an excellent job of Robbie Thielen and Kevin Marr, really, for being sure that we have a 4-man crew for this semifinal matchup, as that's popped in the air. That's down for a base hit, and it'll make it 13-7. And Wayne now in prime position to win this game. Double play, however, in order, as it's just a single.
Well, Wayne has earned back 2 of those runs that Sutton gained at the top of the 5th, and at the top of the 5th, they were 1 away from closing this out at the end of this inning. So,
yep, they were. Yep.
So 2 more scores could be it.
Yep, that gun down at home proving very valuable for Sutton, keeping them in this game, even though they scored in the top half. As this game could be over right now, and that is a balk called by home plate umpire Robbie Thielen, as he failed to step off the mound, and then he went up to call time, and that is not a legal move, Kelly. And Thielen's going to approve to third base umpire Kevin Marr. Second base umpire Eric McMurray also coming in, as is first base umpire Jimmy Moats.
Let's bring everybody in and make sure that we have every angle.
I think we might have a bit of a differing story here depending on who was on it, but Robbie Thielen would obviously have the best look of it, as Jones was right at home plate, and the balk remains in effect. Steve Spongeberg's going to argue, and there's no question why he's arguing here. This is a big spot as the winning run for Wayne at the plate right now.
1 out. No balls, no strikes. Balk moves,
Steve
runner ahead.
Spongeberg slow to depart, and tip of that to Robbie Thielen. He is being very patient right now. Keeping things calm, being sure that cooler heads prevail regardless. Steve Spongeberg, a veteran head coach here, so he knows how to talk with these umpires. Be sure that it is cool. Robbie Thielen not appearing to be really alarmed there as Joe Klein steps back in. Joe, did you see that balk?
I did not get the chance to see the balk. I apologize. I did have to step away, take care of some outside business. Does look like cooler heads are going to prevail.
Yeah, Robbie Thielen's real good about being sure of that. I don't think he's going to really throw anyone out of this game unless it's, really like that ejectable offense as that first pitch misses low. 1-0.
Well,
And really, that's a good job by Thielen as well to be sure to tell Kevin Marr down at third base, the crew chief, I got this, Kevin. You stay put. And
well, he did a good job.
Yep.
I mean, to an extent, an umpire will hear a little bit of discussion, but he's not going to hear a whole lot of argument. And there is you might not agree that there's a fine line there for a head coach to argue between discussion and argument, but an umpire and a seasoned umpire, especially like Robbie Thielen, would be able to tell you there is a definitive line between discussion and argument.
yeah, and like you said, maybe a little bit of an argument there. And balks are not arguable, but obviously one of the things there is that we saw all 4 umpires came together to be sure that Robbie Thielen had the call correct. And as that pitch misses for ball 4, the winning run on base, but you would think that a little bit has to do with the fact that this is a well-respected head coach like Steve Spongberg, who absolutely knows every rule. And, you know, at the end of the day, Steve Spongberg was happy with Robbie Thielen's, was at least content, maybe not happy, but at least content with Robbie Thielen's explanation here. As we see the bottom of the Wayne lineup now, Jace Dean, the 8-hole hitter at the plate, he takes strike 1 on the inner half.
Well, and Aiden Jones picking right up where Bondi left off, Thomas Bondi left off. He has started Dean with the slider, and Dean hasn't looked very good on the sliders all day. He did make a fine adjustment for his base hit, one of his at-bats.
Skips in 1-1. We will likely be a little behind schedule. If this game can end here before too much longer, probably looking around a 7:10 to 7:15 first pitch, but this game keeps going, it'll be later than that.
Well,
at least it's the first game, Joe, you know.
Naturally, we've had a on-time tournament.
So, yeah, at least we're on day 4 where you only have one game following this one. A tip of the hat to Mark McGill for keeping those morning session games Saturday and Sunday on schedule.
Bottom of the 5th, Wayne ahead and at bat, 13-7, 2 on base.
Foul ball and a right idea, just a little wide of the mark there. Joe, you got to keep it on the other side of the grass line here. There is literally no room between the edge of the grass line and the fair foul line here at Crawford Field.
Hardly any. And here, if you're Dean, now it's time to go back to that adjustment. You're seeing that slider out of the hand because it is something that Jones does tip a little bit, and to an extent, all of the Sutton staff does. You'll see a little drop in the arm slot as the slider comes in. Dean able to pick it up, but I don't think, nope, it's not going to stay in play. And like I said, Dean able to pick it up coming out of the hand there, but not entirely able to keep his hands through that ball. You saw a little drop in the hands as the swing started, put him under that one, and spiraled that one up and out of play, foul down the third baseline.
Jones from the stretch, the 2-2. Chopped weakly. That is a fair ball. Both runners will advance. And now there's 2 down, the bottom of the order, Wyatt Hikus. It will be up to him to find a way to keep the line moving if Wayne wants a chance to end this. Otherwise, you have to play on. And this Sutton offense has shown that they are well alive. Only one inning they've been held scoreless. Steve Spongberg going to make his way to the mound here.
Well, and last night we saw a 4-run lead, and was it safe?
Nope.
Absolutely not. A 4-run lead was not safe, and there is no reason right now, if you're Sutton, to think that a 6-run lead is insurmountable, and as Wayne to think that a 6-run lead is comfortable.
Right, yeah. That at the end of the game, you never know the way things turned. Like last night, you know, they were able to get up to tie and then a bad throw.
Yep. One wild pitch and it ends up costing you the game. And we talked a little bit about that ever-critical runs needed to outs remaining ratio. And right now, if you're Sutton, it's kind of at its critical level. If you stop the bleeding right here, find a way to collect this third out, you have 6 outs remaining and 6 runs to go after for a tie, 7 runs to put yourself ahead. And if you're Wayne right now, you're simply just counting down outs, saying, okay, we only need to collect 6 outs before we give up 6 runs. So a little, obviously, the blood pressure is pretty drastically changed on each dugout. Sutton, it's reaching a peak. You're a little stressed and strained, pressing for runs that have come at a pretty premium rate. And for Wayne, you're a little bit more relaxed. Just think, okay, we have to just keep getting soft contact, figure out a way to dodge big innings like the 3 spot, and figure out a way to find outs without giving up crooked numbers.
First pitch is low to Hikus, 1 ball, no strikes. You definitely do not want to walk the bottom of the order here and turn it over to the top, especially with the fact that the winning run is on second base.
No, and Wayne has demonstrated that the top of
oh
my.
Dear, oh, that's going to be foul. Or is it?
No, that's
nope,
foul.
Kevin Marr says it's foul, 1-1.
And
that was a lot closer than I was expecting.
The top of the Wayne order has demonstrated that if you give them a chance, they're going to take advantage of the situation, and they're going to make it hurt. So it is not necessarily critical here, but it is vastly important for Aiden Jones to find a way to collect this out right here. As a base poke pretty well could end the game.
Robbie Thielen holding him up here, being absolutely sure everyone's ready before this 1-1. Good block by Ort. Joe, he has been busy being sure that his team has a chance in this one.
Well, and to an extent, we've seen that the whole game. Sutton kind of pitching guys backwards. You see a lot of curveballs early in the count, like right there, dropping in a 1-1 slow breaking ball. And it's been a lot of hard work back there for Ort today, and he's done a good job to stay mentally engaged in this one enough that he can stay in front of the baseball and save extra bases and save runs.
Big spot here, 3 balls and 1 strike to Wyatt Hikus, top of the order in red and awaiting on deck.
And right now you dial it in. If you're Hikus, you're hunting that fastball somewhere close to the middle, and you're trying to drive this ball to the gap.
That's ball 4. Bases loaded. Winning run remains on second. Top of the Wayne order at the plate. This is a huge spot as Wayne is 180 feet from a state championship, or at least game 1 of a state championship berth. However, 2 outs. A humongous spot for both teams. From the windup, the pitch. Curveball drops him for strike 1.
Oh, we talked a little bit about it. Seen the Sutton staff work guys backward pretty much the whole tournament, and certainly I would work the top of this Wayne lineup backwards. They've proved to me that they can hit the ball all over the ballpark, so right now time to mix it up.
That is chopped to base hit, and Robbie Gamble rolling the dice.
yee.
The throw to the plate, not in time. The Wayne Blue Devils have won it.
And an entertaining way to end this one. As Redden plays the hero, perhaps on something you wouldn't see as a textbook base hit, and what looked like it was going to be a risky decision by Robbie Gamble ends up paying dividends, and Robbie Gamble and his Wayne Blue Devil squad are going to head to the championship game tomorrow night.
That's a big one there as they make it to game 1 tomorrow. We will step aside in association with Saunders County Online. This is the Eastern Nebraska Sports Network.
On May 1st, 1960, noted Wahoo attorneys Harlan A. Bryant, George W. Hessler, and Robert E. Sullivan formed the law firm of Bryant, Hessler, and Sullivan. The founding members sought to provide their clients in the eastern Nebraska area with the highest quality legal advice and legal services. Currently, the firm is known as Hessler, Sullivan, and Klein. Throughout the years, the name of the firm has changed slightly, but the mission of the law firm continues to remain the same. First, Hessler, Sullivan & Klein provides their clients with the best legal advice and legal services available. Second, the attorneys treat every client with the courtesy, honesty, and respect that each client deserves. They are committed to helping you throughout life's journeys, from adoptions to estate planning and legal issues in between. They are here to help. Give them a call at 443-4181 or visit them on the web at wahooattorneys.com. The information obtained in this advertisement is not intended to be legal advice. You should consult an attorney regarding individual legal advice for your situation.
Wayne on top as Wayne versus Sutton on the 2022 Nebraska American Legion Class B Junior State Tournament, as we have an elimination round wrapped up right here on Saunders County Online YouTube and Eastern Nebraska Sports Network.
Yep. Thank you, Kelly. 15-7 the final score, Joe. It was really a game for the Wayne Blue Devils. Sutton scored first. They got one at the top of the first. Wayne answered right back with two of their very own. In the second, Sutton answered with two of their own to give a 3-2 lead. But it would be all Blue Devils from there. They scored three at the bottom of the second. And after a scoreless third in the fourth, Sutton got one, but then Wayne with a sixth spot. And then three by Sutton in the top of the fifth, but only not big enough as Wayne scored four to win it. 15-7, 15 runs, 14 hits, 2 errors for Wayne. Sutton with a very costly 5 errors in addition to their 7 runs and 11 hits. Joe, let's get your thoughts quickly here.
Well, we talked about it. Who was going to be the one that ended up winning this baseball game? The team that was able to adjust to what the other pitcher was doing, and what was key was Wayne able to sit out the breaking ball and finally stay on it, or at least get rid of it until they could get a fastball that they could handle. And we kind of knew that this was going to happen to Sutton. They got deep into their pen, maybe lost their most talented guys, and we saw them have to start working guys backwards, which almost more, I'd argue, is kind of a gimmick than it is some pitching skill. But the gimmick kind of finally ran out. Teams able to figure out the big breaking ball and then sit on the fastball enough that they're able to drive it for base hits. And Wayne was fortunate enough that they did damage when they had guys on and when it counted.
Well, that was a big one. And Kelly, I think I'll let you sign this one off. Again, the final is Wayne 15, Sutton 7.
And we will be back in just a little bit as we have Lincoln Christian facing Plattsmouth in the next round and looking towards the championship game. So come on back right here on Saunders County Online YouTube and Eastern Nebraska Sports Network for full coverage of the 2022